Sixers and Knicks. As far as OKC is concerned,
Uh-huh.
they're not in the Eastern Conference. So
Right, right, right,
for me, I'm more vested in what's happening in the Eastern Conference. So
right,
far as I'm concerned, I can check the uh, the highlights of that game.
yeah, yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. I was looking at it. I'm like, bro, why am I not surprised that the NBA would screw us over? Like, you know what I'm saying? We should be the only game on getting our championship rings and throwing it in the face of LeBron and the Sixers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Why are we start? And then they're starting the season in the afternoon, 3 p.m. with Giannis in Miami. Come on.
yeah. Like to me, I feel like
You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like
There's no way,
I,
bro. I'm like, Miami ain't winning shit either.
I feel like
You know?
the NBA commissioner, like he wanted a slate of games, uh, to maximize viewership. But the problem is,
Right.
if you're in school or if you're working, like, the only way you're going to be able to see those games live is if you got NBA TV or you just stream it or you just have it streaming while you're working.
Right. Facts.
But chances are like you're not going to be able to watch it all the way through.
Nah. And I'm like, bro, there's no way, man. Like, it should be just one game to start the season. It should be our shit against Philly. But
Hmm.
the NBA, I see what they doing. They want to get the views and the ratings, and that's why they have like 5 games planned.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, bro, like Golden State is not they're not a contender anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hmm
I get it. Like, Steph Curry won 4 rings. It was legendary. They had a legendary run, but to put them a part of the primetime package, they're not
it's only for nostalgia.
yeah, they're not a contender.
Yeah, because when the Warriors were competing to be in the play-in, uh, Steph Curry he got them one win, but when you got to rely on Draymond Green,
Uh-huh.
and some uh, and some young 20-year-olds,
Right.
to play against OKC
Right.
against Phoenix. I think it was Phoenix. That's a tall order, for
Exactly.
those guys. Yeah. I'm really
And
hyped about.
I'm like, bro, there's no way, man. Not good.
Yeah,
My bad.
I'm really interested in seeing how the Sixers are going to manage the minutes for
Right.
LeBron, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, uh, Jalen Brown, because like on paper they look like a juggernaut and they look like they can be a wrecking ball through the East,
Right.
but they're to me they don't strike me as being the 2017 Golden State Warriors.
Right.
When you add Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson and Draymond.
Right. Facts. Yeah. And they on paper they have the team to compete, but we know in the last couple of years that Embiid hasn't been healthy, and
Hmm.
I think LeBron is like the insurance policy in case Embiid goes down. Well, we got LeBron, we got one of the best, but is that going to be enough to beat the Knicks? You know what I'm saying? The NBA already hyping this storyline, like opening night, they hyping this rivalry. You know what I'm saying? But Sixers got swept last season by us, so now it's a totally different team. They made a couple trades and signings, and I heard there's a rumor that Ben Simmons wants to come back. I don't know why, because he's already
Yeah,
done.
I saw. I saw some video of Ben Simmons in practice.
Right.
You know, just at a shoot around,
Yeah.
and anybody could look good on video. Just shooting some jump shots.
Exactly.
But to me, the last time we saw him in game action, he was he was passing the rock,
Hmm.
better than a crackhead.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? And so they have a way different team than they ever have. I think I don't want to exaggerate. I think this might be the most complete Sixers team since Moses Malone and Dr. J. And you got to go all the way back to like the 70s and early 80s when they had a team like this. Because Iverson was there, and even though he took them to a finals, he didn't have the help like Maxi and Embiid does now. So this
Well,
this
Allen
might be
Iverson,
the
He was the only pro on that squad.
right.
If I remember correctly, he had Eric Snow,
Uh-huh.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Hmm.
Uh,
He had Lavi Hughes on that team at one point.
yeah.
Yeah, Andre Iguodala they had drafted, but he basically had to carry that team on his own. He had no help. He was like LeBron with the Cavs, and when he first got drafted there, he had no help. You know what I'm saying? But this might be their most complete team since Moses Malone and Dr. J. And then later on they got Charles Barkley. But on paper, I feel like they gonna be that's gonna be the showdown with them and the Knicks. But we all know what happened before. Like the Cavs at one point, they were the favorites to win the East, and they got lost, and they lost,
Hmm.
and Boston lost. So I think it's gonna be still be Detroit, Philly, Cleveland. I don't know about Miami. Miami has to make some. They have to tinker with that team because they don't have a point guard right now. Toronto, depending on if Kawhi comes through this out of this investigation, I think
Man,
they're
that's
gonna.
that's a wild
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
I know, I know, I know. Every time Kawhi hears Pablo Torres, like he just, he turns into the Hulk, like
right,
fun guy, turns into the Hulk and just wants to, you know, pop, uh, the head off of his little body.
right.
Because man, like Pablo did his job as an investigative journalist, but man,
Uh,
to uncover all of those, you know, uh, those phony companies,
right,
which are really shell companies. They're intended, to be, uh, a hedge fund just
yeah,
to uh, make it possible to pay Kawhi under the table under the guise of doing a service. But I believe Kawhi. I don't think it'll be a long suspension, but he may
mm,
serve like maybe 5 games or something.
right,
Just
yeah.
because
Mm,
the uh, just to uh, give the public uh, a uh, a reason to have public trust in them.
right,
Because it undermines the collective bargaining. It undermines you know how business is done, and just to make it possible, just to give the impression that they're not going to tolerate, things like
right.
this.
Facts. And now you have the Raptors saying that they don't even want to do this deal. They want no parts of Kawhi now. So what happens to Brandon Ingram being stuck in limbo now? He has no team to go to. The trade right now is been blocked by the NBA until the investigation is over. So what happens to these players that's a part of this deal? What happens to them and their families, and they have to uproot their lives now, all because of Kawhi and this investigation. So the Raptors, from what I'm hearing, they don't even want to do the deal.
I know, man. I Uncle Dennis,
Hmm.
if uh, if you're anybody that's involved with this transaction, you want Uncle Dennis out of the way.
Right.
Like I don't know if it's actually enforceable,
Hmm.
but if I'm Toronto, I would mandate that Kawhi cut all ties with Uncle Dennis.
Right.
Like he cannot have any dealings with the negotiations for anything, not sponsorships, not your NBA contract,
Hmm.
not negotiating any clauses or any kind of bonuses,
Right.
related to performance.
Hmm.
Because this man has caused so much disturbance, with so many that's involved in this trade.
Facts. I agree. I agree that. So that's like depending on that situation. Like let's say investigation is over, they find Kawhi um not guilty, and the Raptors want to take a chance on him. I think it could be a threat with him there because he makes a whole difference on that team, being that he was there, he gave them their only championship, and then you got Emmanuel Quigley. He's coming back healthy. You got RJ Barrett. You got Scotty Barnes. They got a team. They got a squad, and they gave the Cavs a good series in the playoffs. They lost, but RJ Barrett had some good games in that series. You know what I'm saying? So with Kawhi there now, you would think maybe Toronto could be a contender again. But that's gonna be
Mhm.
up in the air. But right now, I think it's Philly, Detroit, the Cavs. I'm gonna say Miami because they do have Giannis and Bam, but they have to give them some other pieces because they don't have a point guard right now. You know what I'm saying? And they traded Miami traded a lot, like 9 players in that Giannis deal, including draft picks. I think they traded way too much just to get Giannis deal. Now they don't have a damn team. Man, that was why I was so glad that the Knicks didn't do that. I'm like, bro, like for us to get Giannis, we got to trade away half of like the whole starting lineup, except for Brunson, just to get Giannis, and that's why they want Giannis here.
Yeah, like the asking price to pull the trigger on that kind of deal, you gotta, the Heat figured, that they want their fortunes to change. And to be honest with you, I'm not even mad that the Heat did that trade because the Miami Heat, they've been in the play-in for what, 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
Every season they are in the play-in. So I think from Pat Riley's standpoint, like he was tired of being mired in mediocrity, tired of being, you know, in NBA purgatory where you're in the playoffs, but once you lose, now you're going to be, drafting in the bottom third in the
Right.
first round every year.
Right.
So I think for him, it was worth making that trade because the upside of having Giannis there, it makes them a major player, in terms of attracting free agents for next season. But Giannis's health is going to be a major variable.
For a Pistons fan, do you see them signing Duran?
I say they're probably going to do a sign and trade because the worst thing that uh, Langdon could do is have Jalen Duran sign a qualifying offer. Because if he signs the qualifying offer, then Jalen Duran is going to be an unrestricted free agent in 2027, and you'll get nothing for him.
Right.
And Jalen Duran, he has allowed his agent to speak for him, which he is supposed to do. But the ridiculous asking price for Jalen Duren. It's more than Kay Cunningham.
Right.
Like as a Pistons fan, I I kind of gave Jalen Duren a little bit of grace, for like he was terrible in the playoffs. I mean, he went from scoring 20, I think 20 points per game in the regular season to like 8 points per game
Right.
in against Orlando.
Mm,
And I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is a bad series.
right.
Maybe it's a bad matchup. But against the Cavs, to me, it was frustrating seeing Tobias Harris be the leading scorer in not one but 3 games in the postseason, and Jalen Duren is getting out rebounded, you know,
Facts.
by opposing centers. So as
Right.
far as I'm concerned, if you're not like his asking price, I I knew was going to be high, but usually once you see how the market is responding to
Mm,
your asking price, you'll lower it a bit,
right.
or you'll take something that's team friendly because he's only 22 years old.
Yeah.
Like he's, you know, he made the All Star team this year, so he's going if he keeps playing up to his potential, he's going to get another opportunity to sign a max contract,
Right.
3 or 4 years from now. So once I saw how much he was asking for, to me it seemed like he didn't think he was going to be able to uh, be in this position in his career again. So I'm thinking if you're really not committed to the Pistons, then just ask for the sign and trade. No
Right.
harm, no foul.
Facts.
Because as far as I'm concerned, Kay Cunningham is going to continue to play at an MVP caliber, and go play for Sacramento and see how you'll like it.
Right.
Hey, go play for New Orleans.
Oh
You know
no.
because because
No.
you may get close to the money that you want, but you're always going to be you're always going to have to deal with the fact that you left a team that is still on the ascent. They haven't even reached their prime yet. Just think about that. The Pistons, they were the worst team in league history in 2024. Had was the number one seed last season. Got to the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Yo,
Yo, just
that's
imagine
crazy.
another year together. And to me,
Right.
and
I
to me, I
agree.
think that's what most Pistons fans are feeling. Like, look, if you leave,
Right.
we're not going to be shedding tears, and we're not going to be, pleading for you to stay with us because we got Azar Thompson. We got,
Yep.
um, uh, we got Cade, we got Duncan Robinson coming back. What's some? We got a couple of
Mm-hmm.
new signees, which I'm very encouraged by because we got more shooting, and because we have more shooting, that can offset some of our shooting
Right.
woes that we had.
Facts.
So I'm fully confident in this season. So
Oh yeah.
if JD does the signing trade, to me that's the most expedient way to move on, and
Facts.
and to me, he won't be a dark cloud hanging over our heads.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Cause I'm like, yo, the whole Eastern Conference changed like over the summer. You know what I'm saying? I'm like we saw movement from like half of the trades and the signings were the East. Like everybody just I never seen nothing like that before. Like a whole conference just changed after like one team in that conference win, and I'm like, bro, like that's the impact the Knicks had. Is like, yo, like Philly had to change, Boston, and so
Mhm.
we're gonna see. Um, we're gonna see what happens next season, and I'm excited, and I'm not even mad that the NBA has like a full slate of like 5 games on opening day. I'm not mad at it because I'm like, yo, that as long as we got we on for the premiere, that's all that mattered to me. Like to see them finally get the rings and all that. That's all that mattered. It could have been the last game of the night. I wouldn't have cared. You know what I'm saying? But I know there's like Knicks fans that feels like, yo, like the NBA they screwed it up. They didn't get it right. But I'm like, bro, I'm not even mad, yo. Like we finally won after 53 years. I'm not even mad that it's other games on. So
And 53 years is it's not a. I mean, it's really most people's lifespans. You know, like
yeah,
like like some people live to 60 years old. I mean,
right,
I'm as far as I'm concerned, like the shift in so many free agents coming to the Eastern Conference. I think, and to me, the way that I look at it is that it's also showing respect uh, to San Antonio
right,
because I think a lot of players they would rather they would rather battle it out in the Eastern Conference than have to deal with um, Wimbiana in the playoffs in the Western Conference. But did you hear about Russell Westbrook
right.
retiring? And he had uh, the
Yes.
Sacramento King,
Um.
the Sacramento Kings was going to offer
uh,
him a new deal, and he got an offer from the Wizards, but he said he would rather retire on his own terms.
oh God, the Wizards. Oh no,
Yeah,
that's crazy,
I think I
man. I
think
mean,
I
Russell
think
Westbrook.
I think yeah, I think Russell Westbrook felt like if that's my only offer, I might as well just stay with the Kings and
Right.
I'm just going to
That's wild.
uh ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. I mean, he's definitely gonna be a future Hall of Famer, and he had a finals appearance with KD and with James Harden that OKC team, and they end up losing to the Mavericks. And was it the Mavericks or was it Miami? I think it was the Mavericks, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Uh,
Um,
I think
but I thought it was Dallas they lost to. No, it wasn't Dallas. It had to have been Miami because them Dallas and OKC was like in the same conference. So they lost to Miami that year, I think. Um, but what he's done, like NBA all rookie first team in 2009, NBA All Star Game MVP in both 2015 and 2016, a triple double leader. I think he was like the first to do that since Oscar Robertson.
mm-hmm.
Um, Scoring champion in 2015, 2017, assist leader in 2018, 2019, 2021. All NBA selections, 9 teams in total, 5 second team, two third teams, most valuable player in 2017. Like he's done everything but get a ring, but at least he went to a finals appearance. Whereas like there's some players like a Tracy McGrady who never went to an NBA Finals, who always got bounced out in the first round, and somehow he's in the Hall of Fame. But Russell Westbrook to me deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's a legend. For what him and KD did for OKC, the original OKC team, they put them on the map before Shea Gillis. He has to be saluted for that for sure. Definitely, I enjoyed watching him play. He always had the passion. He had the temperament. He got in a couple of verbal disputes with fans, but that was all part of his makeup, and he didn't care. Like he played hard every night. I never saw Russell Westbrook take a night off. You know what I'm saying? And he was good. That's the type of passionate play that you want on your team.
Hmm.
Jay Luna says if he wasn't a ball hog and big mouth, costed him a championship when a contender. Oh my! This is coming from a Lakers fan, so I understand what he's saying.
I mean, he was the whipping boy for the Lakers
Right.
in 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
With everything that went wrong, they would just blame it on Russell Westbrook.
Right.
Don't shoot. If he had
Yeah.
the ball, the entire arena, they would fall to a quiet hush,
Right.
hoping that he would pass.
Right.
But
Yeah. He
but it was
definitely
LeBron that wanted him there.
right. And then when that didn't work out, they were mentioning that, oh well, LeBron was the one that wanted Russell Westbrook there, and it didn't work out, and we blame him for that. And I think the Lakers management didn't want him there either. But LeBron was like, nah, I want him on this team. You know what I'm saying? But I know there was like a rumor about that, like the Lakers management didn't think they didn't want him on the team, and it was LeBron's call, like it was with everything that LeBron did on the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Now there was a point when we were calling him Russell Westbrook because he was not a great 3-point shooter. Like I
Hmm.
remember that though there was rumors of the Knicks trying to go after him, and a lot of Knicks fans did not want him on the team because of his shooting, because he's not a great shooter. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was like the only flaw in his game, like, was his shooting was just atrocious. He was taking shots, and you know what I mean, it was just bad. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely think he's a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. He deserves to be in it. You know, and it was great seeing him play. You know what I'm saying? And for me, he'll always be OKC before any other team. I know he's been on other teams, the Lakers and the Kings and the Wizards. They were just bad, but he will always be. He got to get his jersey retired for OKC. Definitely, you know. Look at the Lakers fan. LA had Russ and Pat and Bev both mistakes. Look at the Lakers fan talking. Yeah, y'all Lakers still mad about that, huh? Oh man, Luna, you are something, bro. I can't wait for the NBA season to start. I want to hear what these Lakers fans have to say.
I was thinking James Harden is going to be the second player from OKC's big three to retire.
He needs
I think I
James
think
Harden
Kevin.
needs to retire now. He needs to retire now. Like Russ, hold the door open because Harden needs to retire also.
Yeah, I think Kevin Durant is a lifer, and plus I see James Harden. He's his devotion to playing basketball has always been questionable
Right.
because it seems like he's more committed to partying
Yeah.
and being around socialites,
Right.
than wanting to win.
I would never sign James Harden to my team. I would, and what team would want to sign him after they like you see he's only chasing the bag. He's not a winner. He played like crap in the playoffs with Cleveland. They got swept. Like I would never give James Harden no contract at this point. Like he fooled a lot of teams and GMs. over the years, but at this point in 2026, I would never sign him. He could remain a free agent.
I I hate his style of playing.
Yeah,
To me, he is the personification of what has happened with the NBA in terms of the way the game is officiated,
right,
flopping, foul baiting, and it's not even clever. It would be different if he was making moves that rightfully could go either way,
right,
but he'll just make a move, to get players in foul trouble, and like he'll extend his foot trying to get a player to step on it, hoping that they'll twist
right.
their ankle. It just leaves a lot to be desired.
Facts. I mean, I would, this should last season should have proved to people why he's not a superstar. I never looked at him like he was a superstar. He doesn't play defense. All he was a scorer. That's all that he did. He was a scorer, and he went after the bag on every team that he was on. He was not a leader. You know, you saw what happened with between him and Chris Paul when they were both on the Rockets. Like, why would you want to sign him for millions of dollars to do what? To take up a spot on your roster? Because he's not helping you all win. Like that's why I didn't understand the trade with Cleveland. I'm like, what does the Cavs think they're gonna do with James Harden? He wasn't taking you to the finals. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I'm like, what was the whole pairing with him and Donovan Mitchell? I'm like, they're not going away with that team.
And really, he was
They
Donovan
needed LeBron
Mitchell,
if anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the James Harden, he ain't doing shit.
and really, it's Donovan Mitchell that is the most. But like, he's the player that makes opposing defenses nervous and second guess everything. To me, it was
Right.
baffling the way that the Pistons lost to the Cavs, especially Game Seven. Like for weeks, I was so like
Yep.
I I had that game burned in my memory. It's like, and that's why
It was.
that's why. Oh, go ahead.
No. I was saying I agree. But the fact that the first game of the second round when they're playing the Knicks, and they had like what like a 30 point lead or something like that in at the Garden, and they blew that game, and even us Knicks fans were thinking maybe this is just a loss. We got to chalk it up for game one. We'll be ready for game two. We didn't even think that we was gonna come back after being down that many points to beat the Cleveland Cavs. I'm like, bro, James Harden is garbage. He's not a superstar. He's never been a superstar. And that game right there should show everybody, especially these young kids coming up that grew up on James Harden and thinking, oh, he's a superstar. That game right there should show you all he was never a superstar. He was just a scorer, and that's all. He was not a leader on any team that he was on. He was chasing the bag, which is what a lot of these players do now. A lot of these players will not get a ring. They will not be in the Hall of Fame because it's all about money over legacy for them. They don't give a damn about winning. You know what I'm saying? We gotta hold our people up to a certain standard. You see, like the MLB, when they like the MLB and golf, when people get that green jacket in golf, they meant something to the game. Tiger Woods meant something to golf. There were a lot of black people that wasn't watching golf before Tiger Woods, and the minute that he came in and started winning the Masters and real championships is when they started checking out golf. And he's in the Hall of Fame for a reason. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? When you look at Major League Baseball, they don't put bums in Major League in the Hall of Fame in baseball. They in there for a reason. Now, some of them might have taken, PEDs and steroids and all that shit, but they were legendary even without the steroids. A-Rod was a legendary player even without taking steroids, and he got a ring. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? With the NBA, I feel like they got to start really looking at some of these dudes going into the Hall of Fame like you was just a scorer, bro. You did not make an NBA Finals appearance. You did not. You got bounced out every round that you was in. You were just a scorer. Like, why should James Harden ever be considered to be in the Hall of Fame? For what?
And he was never.
You know what I'm saying?
And James Harden was never somebody that could play great defense as well. Like all of his teams, like he was always a liability.
Right.
Like if you are relying on James Harden, to keep Steph Curry, out of the paint or making it past half court.
Nope.
And Steph Curry burned James Harden so many times.
Sam, don't say Pippen because Pippen, unlike James Harden, unlike Tracy McGrady, went to NBA Finals and won rings with Jordan. And even when Jordan left for 2 years to play baseball with the White Sox, he still took the Bulls to the playoffs. So do not say Pippen. Pippen deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's a legend. And this is coming from a Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people try to change the narrative now after so many years and say, oh, Pippen, he only won because of Jordan. If that's the case, the whole fucking team won because of Jordan. Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc, Bill Cartwright, everybody on that team won because of Jordan. So don't sit up there and say, oh, Pippen. No, Pippen deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. He's a legend. He deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. He didn't sit on his laurels. He wasn't a fucking ring chaser like LeBron was.
And I remember the season. It was the first season when Michael Jordan retired in 90. I think it was the 93-94 season in that playoff series. Scottie Pippen was doing everything that he could to get the Bulls.
Exactly.
To the finals.
Exactly.
And that bad call from Collins.
Right.
That was the one that kept them from going to the finals that year. I think it was the Knicks versus the Rockets in '94.
Yeah. That was the time when OJ was fleeing in a white Bronco with AC.
Oh yeah, and NBC they preempted the NBA Finals to show OJ Simpson.
And when we lost, we blamed OJ for that loss. New Yorkers blamed OJ. It's OJ's fault that we lost. It was him. Take him to jail.
Which game was that? Was that a game?
I think that was like game 3. What was that? Like game 2, game 3? I forget the exact number. I remember watching it, and then they cut the game off to go to OJ and AC in the white Bronco fleeing from the cops. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and nobody, and I can only imagine, being a Knicks fan, and the game is kind of tit for tat. It's going down to the wire, and now you don't know what's happening in the action, and all you seeing is a white Ford Bronco going down the freeway with AC Green driving.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I knew it was something serious because it was all over. It was on CNN. It was all on the major news networks at that time. I'm like, OJ Simpson killed his wife? What the fuck that got to do with this? I'm trying to watch the finals. I'm sorry that she died, but this is more important.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that I remember, seeing it and just seeing how all of the people on the overpass, they all had enough time to get posters and draw a sign saying "Go OJ" or "Free OJ."
Right.
And there was like thousands of people on the overpass.
I'm like, bro, it's a black man, a athlete at that that's rich and famous, and he had a white wife that he allegedly killed. What you think? You really think he wasn't going to jail? Like I'm like, he's already cooked. He was already cooked on the moment he got in that white Bronco with AC and fled the scene. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
when he reached Rockingham and he was, allowed to go into his mansion.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I thought that's what rich privilege is,
Right.
because the cops, they just sit back, like he ain't got nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let him, go in this mansion. Maybe change his clothes
Right.
or whatever. But to be taken, but to be taken alive and not have nothing done to you,
Right.
and you're a black man, that's only because he's rich.
Yeah, of course.
And
He was
and
cooked.
and but that's why I was kind of, that's why, like, when he got acquitted and he went to the AME church in Los Angeles and started
Mm-hmm.
trying to win over black people,
Right.
it was kind of sickening.
Nah, but they were black people that wanted him to get off. They wanted him because he had the best lawyer. He had Johnny Cochran. They wanted him to get off. I remember that. But I remember when the verdict came in and there's black people cheering that he got acquitted. I'm like, what are we cheering for? Like what are we cheering for? Like because he had the best lawyer. That's basically why. And the police was tampering with evidence. But I mean, I still feel like part of him did something, or he had help. I don't feel like he was totally innocent.
I think when once the case went to deliberation and you had white people that was foaming at the mouth over wanting OJ, to be sent to the electric chair, and
Mhm.
that's when I started seeing, more black people, go the opposite way. It's
Right,
like like we know he's guilty, but
right.
we want him uh, acquitted, because we don't want to see y'all rejoice in him,
Exactly,
going to prison.
exactly. That's what it was. That's what it came down to, really. That's really what it was. You know what I'm saying? You know. Also, I forgot to add for Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was an NBA All Star MVP in 1994. He finished the game with 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 steals, and had 5 3-pointers. To the Eastern Conference won that year. So, like I said, Scottie Pippen deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. He is not James Harden or Tracy McGrady or one of these stragglers that happen to make it in the damn Hall of Fame. He's certified 6-ring champion, just like everybody else on that Bulls team. You know what I'm saying?
I think the like once he joined Charles Barkley and Hakeem Olajuwon,
Yeah.
in Houston,
Hmm.
that to me that was like the equivalent of Jordan, on the Wizards.
Right.
Like, I don't even count those years.
Yeah, I mean, well, it wasn't the same. Like I mean, even then, I don't. Back then, it wasn't called ring chasing. They just got traded. You know, it was like I think for Scotty, he wasn't ready to retire. Just because Jordan retired, he still wanted to play, and he played with Houston and Portland, and you know, I think he was much better in Portland when he was there at that time. The jail with the Jailblazers, you know what I'm saying? But they
Yeah,
he wasn't ready to retire after 6 rings. He wanted to keep going on. I think part of him wanted to also prove that he could be his own star without Jordan. And
and
I think
also
he's already done
and also Jerry Krause wasn't giving up
that. Right,
one penny more for Scottie Pippen.
right. You know what I'm saying?
And
And yeah, I think if that Bulls team didn't break up, they would have won more championships. You know what I'm saying? It would have been like going into like the 2000s, we would have seen Jordan versus Kobe and Shaq. That would have been great. You know what I'm saying? We never got that, but I think they could have well finished off with like 7 8 rings.
I
Who
think
was
it was, wasn't it in that Last Dance documentary,
mm,
that there's people in the Bulls organization that consulted with Scottie Pippen at the time that first contract with Jerry Krause, and I
I
think Scottie
forget.
Pippen signed it because
Mm,
that was the most money that he had seen,
right.
and I think they were telling him, just
Freezy. What's good, bro?
what up, freeze.
Salute,
Oh,
salute, salute. What's goody?
chilling, man.
Hey,
Chilling.
what you think about the legacy of Russell Westbrook?
Ooh, that's tough.
Is he
Um,
is he a future Hall of Famer?
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know. I could put him in that group of players with Scottie Pippen.
Right.
That group of um very talented players that may not have gotten their proper due.
Right.
Um, I think he played long enough for us to see the flaws in his game. But if he would have retired like on top of his game, like at 34,
Right.
I think we'd probably look at him different.
Yeah. Like you remember like there was a time when the Knicks was talking about trying to get him, and we didn't want him here because like he couldn't shoot. We called him Russell Westbrook, and yeah, his shooting was bad, but like, he could do everything else.
Right. But at that time, who were we to talk about Westbrook, a two-time MVP?
Right.
I remember those days. We was like, we don't want Westbrook because we got Quentin Grimes.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. You know. But yeah, like I was saying, like I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer. He went to NBA Finals. He's done everything. He averaged a triple double. I think he was like the first to do that since Oscar Robertson.
Right. Yeah.
And he was great. I loved watching him. He had passion for the game. He never took nights off. I loved his tenacity and his passion for the game, and that's what you want in a player. You want that on your team. You want the whole team to be as passionate as Russell Westbrook was.
Right.
And he was all about winning. He wasn't chasing a ring and trying to be buddy buddy with people. He was all about business on the court, and
Right.
that's a rarity now, unfortunately, in today's league.
That's a great. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, yo, he got to get his props, and I definitely feel like he should be inducted into the Hall of Fame for sure. He put OKC on the
Definitely.
map.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Now there's some other shit I want to discuss that I seen, and this has been going on for a while, but I think it restarted last night. You had Trek from Naughty by Nature on the Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder podcast, and they asked him about Naughty by Nature and will they ever reunite. And he said, "Hell no." He said those two niggas, KG and Vinny, backstabbed him, and there's only so much cuts that he could take in his back. And we heard about this. I heard about this beef with Tretch and the members like maybe 20 years ago because allegedly he had a fight with Vinny. Vinny said that he pulled a knife on him and he ran to the bathroom. And KG had his issues with Tretch in the past. Um, you know, it's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up on Naughty by Nature. I've seen them live. They are great. They're one of the best rap groups of all time. They can do a verses right now and beat a lot of groups. They have multiple anthems and hit records. Great classic albums. Did many features. KG is an underrated an underrated producer. You know,
He's a very underrated sampler, bro. KG
yes,
samples were like out of here. KG
yeah,
sampling.
yeah,
The sample for OPP was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And he's responsible for Divine Mills Records, which brought out Next and Coffee Brown. You had John A. He did produce John A's first album, a classic. You know, he had some great artists, Jaheim as well, very underrated
Shaheem.
singer.
Yeah.
So my after that, after what Tretch said on Yayo and Uncle Murder's podcast, you had Vin came out and he responded, and I like the way that he responded. He put up on his social media page that you know Naughty by Nature are like well off. They're millionaires. They're not hurting for any money. They have multiple things, businesses going on. He basically told the fans it's not really their business if they should focus on their own family and what they got going on in their own lives and not worry about what the beef between Tretch and the group. But he did it in a tasteful way, and he didn't like take any shots at Tretch or whatever. And I would love for them to like squash the beef and just come back together because we need. I would love to see Naughty back out in this era. Like there's so many of our legends that's dropping new music and dropping quality music, and I feel like Naughty could easily do that.
I think so too.
You know what I'm saying? But like yeah, like this is old. This is not a new beef. This is an old beef that reignited when Tretch got on the podcast and said hell no, he would never do a reunion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But never say never because we've heard that before about Third Base and look at Search and Prime Minister Pete Nice. They're back together. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? We've heard that about EPMD. They're back together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I will never say never. I think they need to get in the room maybe with Queen Latifah and Latifah could be the middle woman and squash this whole because these are her artists. The Flavor Unit, they were under her. Like they can if she call a meeting right now, they're not gonna say no. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Her and Shakim call a meeting right now and bring this legendary group back together. They deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, Tretch highly underrated artist that never should have had a great solo career. But it's disheartening to see a group that you grew up with, going through beef and turmoil. And I've seen this too many times with like Pete Rock and CL Smooth and Gangstar, the tail end of Guru's career. He had issues with Primo and this is the time when these legends need to be in the Hall of Fame and be given their flowers, not be on somebody's podcast and they throwing shade at the other members. You know what I'm saying? So
Yo, I'm gonna say this, and I know this is gonna sound disingenuous. And salute to the chat, everybody in the chat.
yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Salute to the chat, everybody watching. And there's gonna be probably hundreds of people that see this.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be honest
Right.
with this. And
Mhm.
it may sound like I'm maybe disingenuous, and I'm not. I think a lot of people put sauce on those interviews so that their name can be relevant again. I'm not calling Tretch fake,
Uh-huh.
right? But I noticed since Joe and Jada came out, and no disrespect to them, because they have a fantastic show. But I noticed when we were just like, when it was like Joe Budden, we didn't have, like, their beef was internal beef. Like Joe Budden, when Joe did pods with people, like they had internal beefs. I think now people are in so much competition, they like taking the Wendy. You remember Wendy Williams?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
No disrespect, because she had a legendary career. I just don't like her personally. Right? I just don't like her personally.
Right.
But she found a lane and commanded that lane, and I think people doing pods are in that Wendy Williams lane, where it's less about celebrating artists and more about let's get straight to the drama.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And getting straight to the drama gets you clicks, but at the same time, when you have interviewers that are not trained, like when Tony Yayo is your interviewer, you already know it's gonna be ratchet as hell, right? Tony Yayo interviewing people, like at least with DJ Vlad, it was kind of about journalism a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing is centered around how many clicks can I get? You know, what's juicy? Like when Puffy get out,
right?
Imagine how many people gonna be trying to get Diddy to do spill the beans or whatever.
Right.
You know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't even want to talk about Diddy when he come out, man. I don't even want to mention that because he should be in there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like he did too much dirt to people in the industry for him to be even coming out soon. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how? You know, it's crazy, man. But you know, I mean, Rocker, you got anything to say about the Naughty beef or whatever? I think he's still might have stepped away, but
I
don't want to see. Yeah,
I love Naughty, bro.
Okay, I do, for sure. Cause they were great. They always had energy, you know, positive songs, and you had these sweet songs.
Can I tell you how I feel about them?
Yeah,
like there's a sect of people out there that love old school duos such as Run DMC. I think Run DMC is right. I think they okay. Were they trendsetters? Could we relate to them? No. We couldn't relate to Run DMC. Run DMC dressed like the mafia. Like they wore leather jackets and Run DMC looked like villains in a bad Marvel movie. Right? Like they look like the Russian mafia on like, you know, track suits and Adidas and leather jackets and Godfather hats and we didn't as youngsters, we didn't dress like that. Like I think they might be a few, and mind you, I love DMC. Right? I love DMC. Right? Let me just say that. Right? No disrespect to Run DMC. DMC is my favorite. DMC might be one of my favorite people in hip hop, period. Because he was a truth teller. Like even in interviews, like he always sat down and told the truth. He didn't amplify stuff or whatever. But my thing about Naughty by Nature is my thing about Naughty by Nature is I think Naughty by Nature is better than the Run DMCs. I think Naughty by Nature is better than a lot of rap duos. Right? And I just don't think Naughty by Nature get the props they deserve. Like I don't think LL Cool J get the props he deserved for carrying 2 different decades in hip hop. Right? Like I think artists like that generally, but here's the thing. When you take kids off the street and you turn them into celebrities, and they grow up, they mature and become men in the industry, you gonna get shit like this,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
you gonna get stuff like this. Like you grow up as a kid one way, and then in the industry you become a celebrity. You dating like Hollywood chicks and all that stuff. You have all the money you can ever imagine. Your
Mm.
songs constantly be in somebody's rotation somewhere.
Right.
You become a movie star, or you produce hit records for others,
Right.
right? Like your legacy, right? Like say for instance, like a lot of Queen Latifah songs, I think Tretch get writing credit for a
Mm.
lot of Queen Latifah biggest hits,
Right.
and KG gets credit for Janae and Next and
Mm.
Jaheim and other stuff, and they go from kids off the street to celebrities,
Right.
and to expect them to stay the same people as they were when they first entered the business, I don't know if you can really expect that.
I get it, but it's like if you grew up with these artists, y'all broke bread together. You know, y'all saw family grow with each other. You know, and then you have the mentorship of Shakim and Queen Latifah, right?
Right.
You have Flavor Unit. You had legendary artists that was a part of that crew. Apache, rest in peace. Heavy D, rest in peace. Nikki D. You know what I'm saying? When you have those legendary artists surrounding you, it's like how could you just be like, oh well, I'm done with this forever. You know, those two guys backstabbed me. I'm good. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I feel like if it's a money thing, which it usually is with a lot of these groups, that can be resolved. If it's something where
can we start with the backstab thing first?
yeah,
The thing with the backstab thing is that's one person's side of the story,
right,
right? Like we hearing like you never hear KG and Van Rock say they backstab Tretch.
right.
Like he stopped making music to do movies, right? Like remember there was a stretch where
Well, I mean, when he was still doing Juice and all that. Remember, he took Pac with him to audition for Juice, and they ended up picking Pac or whatever. But while he was still doing Juice, they were still doing albums. So it's not like he just like stopped his musical career to do Hollywood films. Like Will Smith did that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But Stretch was still doing both music and movies at the same time.
but Will Smith is different though. Remember, Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff took a break.
Mhm.
Now they still, from what I hear, they still best friends,
Right,
right? Right, they still best friends. They just took a break
right,
from music where Jazzy Jeff stepped off to do other stuff, and Will Smith was like, "Okay, well, we're not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna do something."
right,
Probably off the strength of Summertime.
right.
Like if our memory serves us right,
Mhm.
Summertime was the number one song in the country, and ironically, it got knocked off by Naughty by Nature, OPP,
Mhm.
right? Right?
Okay.
If our memory serve us,
Right.
there was a very short NWA, Father MC, Kwame run for like maybe summer of 90 to like spring of 90, winter of 91.
Right.
And then you get your Summertime, you get your OPP, you get
Uh-huh.
your crossover. What's crossover? Crossover came
Crossover
out.
was 92.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I mean that was a hit on radio because I remember Hot 97. It was in that was in the heavy rotation at that time.
right. And the moment I'm talking about is not 91 when they were filming Juice. Right. What I'm talking about is 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002. You know what I'm saying? When Tretch was doing movies.
Right.
Right. I mean, you know, what are Vin Rock and KG gonna do except whatever they can do in the industry?
Right.
Right. And so the backstab thing, what I would say to that is the front man of a lot of groups always have most times have issues. When you out front of a group, a lot of times you're gonna have issues. I don't want to say ego, but something along those lines.
But I mean, it don't sound like ego. I mean, other than Tretch saying on the podcast that it was, you know, the group is eating off of their publishing because of him, because he wrote everything, right? And I didn't know that. I'm thinking, you know, growing up in the 90s, and I'm hearing the self-titled album in 1993 and Poverty's Paradise, that it's both Tretch and Vin writing both their own rhymes. I didn't know it was Tretch writing, you know, everything. So you know, like Vince said, they've been well off for many years. Like they were like one of the first ones to have their own merch. Like they were promoting the Naughty by Nature T-shirts and the bandanas and the OPP stickers and all that in the album booklets. They were one of the very first ones to have their own merch. You know what I'm saying? So they already had that business sense. You know what I'm saying? The I don't
Thank
know.
you, Vin Rock.
Right. Vin Rock always handled the business side of New York, and KG was the DJ / producer, and Tretch was like the face of the group. He was the MC that never really got his props as a MC, because he had a different style. Nobody sounded like Tretch. I don't know. I'm only going off of what I've heard over the years about, you know, him having the fight with Vin saying that he had a fight with Tretch, and Tretch pulled a knife on him, and then he ended up running to the bathroom because he didn't want to get stabbed by Tretch. And then the beef with KG, I heard about that years ago. So I don't know. It seemed like Tretch is the common denominator in this, but I don't know the backstory on the issues with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just would like for them to like squash that and reunite, because it's I don't want to hear tomorrow morning that something happened to one of them for them to squash the beef when it could have been squashed when all three of them was still living.
Right. How many encores does Naughty by Nature need, bro? Right? Like legitimately, when people say New York fell off, right? There was a stretch of time where A Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang Clan was rocking the East Coast, and people look at those years as the East Coast fell off because the West Coast had bigger artists.
Right.
But if you remember that era, New York didn't really fall off.
Right.
Because the biggest acts in the game, say A Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang Clan, Naughty by Nature, Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, like they were on top of their game. One could say the 1990s version of Queen Latifah and MC Lyte are better than the 80s version of Queen Latifah and MC Lyte. One could say that. Now, if you disagree, I could be on both sides of that.
I do. I prefer 80s MC Lyte than 90s MC Lyte. Gave us Roughneck and the I Want to Be Down remix, even though it was dope. But I prefer 80s MC Lyte. 90s MC Lyte, I feel like she was trying to fit in with the current sound of New York City, though. The hardcore sound, the boom bap.
Right.
Latifah, I love Latifah in both of his 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying? But I've heard people say that about, you know, New York fell off. I'm like, New York didn't fall off in the 90s, bro.
It was just different.
The G-Funk was at its peak during that time because of Death Row, and you had artists like MC8 and DJ Quick and Above the Law, but New York gave
Cypress Hill, don't forget
Cypress Hill, right? But Cypress Hill sound like us. They had a boom bap sound because Muggs grew up in Queens. He moved to California. You know what I'm saying? So they were West Coast, but they had our sound. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the videos for how I could just kill a man and hand on the pump, they did that here in New York City.
Bro,
You know what I'm saying?
classic album.
Classic album.
Don't forget Pigs and a whole bunch of joints by
Stone is the Way of the Walk and Real Estate. All the first 3 albums from Cypress Hill were classic. Great. One of my favorite groups of all time. They belong in that discussion with Naughty by Nature, but we never fell off during the Bad Boy and Death Row Coastal beef. We were coming out with some of the best albums during that time that we still talking about now, like Illmatic and Ready to Die and Into the Wu-Tang and Midnight Marauders. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
and J. Rue the Damager. You always forget J. Rue the Damager, bro.
I don't forget J. Rue the Damager. J. Rue the Damager, 2 classic albums by Primo. I love it. Right. Like we were bringing out some of the best shit ever during this whole Coastal week was going on. But you know, Naughty got to be in that discussion because they gave us big hit records like Hip Hop Parade and written on
like
the
Feel Me Flow.
Huh?
Feel Me Flow.
Feel Me Flow. It's on. You had Craziest. You know, Ghetto Bastard. OPP, like they gave us some big hit records, even a tribute to Tupac that people forget about. Mourn You Till I Join You, one of the best. That might be the best Tupac tribute ever that anybody has done for him. I loved it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you know, they got to be in that discussion. Like I would like to see them do a versus. Like if you're gonna break up, do that after the verses. Like let's pick a group to for them to battle, and let them show these youngsters how to do their thing. And then y'all can break up. Like I feel like they need to do a versus.
I'm in the mindset of leaving what he at.
Okay.
That's why I'm at with it. Like leaving what he at, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if y'all don't want to be together, I'm not gonna force y'all.
Right.
Because one of the things about albums, you want to feel chemistry. It's like what's the dude that used to have verses? Used to have verses on a Tribe Called Quest joints. Consequence. Yeah. It's like if Fife don't want to be there, don't force him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. Like y'all want to be together.
But the thing is it? I mean. For me, this is the first time I'm hearing Tretch really talk about the beef because I always saw the rumor now. You know what I'm saying? So this is like the first time where he's like on a platform and he's openly talking about the beef with them and how they both backstabbed him. And then Vinny responds with, "Oh well, me and Tretch had a fight, and then Tretch pulled a knife on me, and I ran to the bathroom because I didn't want to get stabbed by him." I've never heard about them talk about the beef until now. So this is why I'm like, well, what really happened and how did the beef start with them? Tretch is saying that it was all ego with the other 2 members because they didn't know how to play their position. Because they were I guess they were jealous because he was the face of the group and he had the people calling him for features and collabs and remixes and nobody was calling Vin Rock for a feature. KG was he had to step out of the group and do his own thing and create Divine Mills, his record label, and then sign acts like Next and Jaheim and Coffee Brown, John A. You know what I'm saying? So, but I never looked at the other 2 like they were egotistical. They don't seem that type. I've seen KG in interviews. He don't seem like that type.
To me, it's like, do you trust the star of a group? Do you trust the star of a group to say things the way they actually happen? Right. That's my feeling on it. Like right now, do I trust Charlie Brown to say, nah, no one had egos, Buster was a star and it was his time to step out? Nah. Charlie Brown gonna say, yo, he the leader of Leaders of the New School. He was the best lyricist in that group.
No, he wasn't. He was good. Buster was the best to me. Charlie was like after Buster to me. I never looked at him like he was the leader of that group.
No, Charlie Brown is the leader of that group.
He's the leader of the
right?
group? Okay.
Yeah, he's the leader of that group. Now, in terms of who had the most star potential, of course, it's Buster. But one could say that Dinko D and Charlie Brown were better MCs than Buster.
Right.
Right. But Buster Rhymes had an energetic gimmick.
Right.
Right. He had an energetic gimmick and it caught on, and Buster took that to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And
right.
He needs to be in there for sure.
He needs to be in there. Right. Yeah. Not leaders of the new school, just Buster.
Right.
Right. But we remember when Buster used to say Buster Rhymes, the mighty infamous, something, and something is. And you like, okay, how does dude get in the group? And then he said, rah, rah. And you was like, oh, this dude is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
You know, I mean, the Dungeon Dragon, that was Buster for a time. And Buster was, I'm sorry.
Remember, to Buster's credit, right? He wasn't offered a solo deal when they broke up. You know what I'm saying? He had to basically jump on remixes and features anywhere that he could in the studio to get a buzz going for himself as a solo artist, and then get the Elektra deal. He wasn't offered a solo deal. It's sort of like with Jim Jones. Jim Jones was never offered a deal with Rockefeller as a solo artist. It was Cam and Jewels that had the Rockefeller deal, and Jim had to go out on his own and get on mixtapes and DJ drama and all that to get the Koch Records contract, and then became an executive of Warner Brothers Records.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Nobody offered him a deal. So you know, like
Jim Jones didn't deserve a deal. Not at first. I don't know.
Salute, Chateau. Salute. I don't know. I give Jim Jones respect because he was grinding during the mixtape era when a lot of other artists were depending on mixtapes to make them famous, and he didn't rest on his laurels. He said, "Cam got a deal, Jewel's got a deal. Where my deal at? I got to get a deal now." So he was grinding on the mixtape circuit to get that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so yeah, so to your point, I agree, but I think my main point is I don't trust everything that I hear from Tretch, and not that I know him personally, but I'm saying it solely based on the ego that the star of a group can get, and sometimes disrupt everything else.
Right.
Like when DMX was doing movies, Tretch was doing movies, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it's one of the things, bro. If you write in for Queen Latifah and Naughty by Nature, and you getting paid, and you doing movies, and you having success, and people put you in a certain place, hey man, more power to you. Right? Vin can't do it. KG can't do it. They did other stuff. You know, so shout out to Vin Rock for Naughty by Nature logo, one of the dopest logos ever.
Oh yeah.
Right. Hey, shout out to Vin for the merch.
Yeah.
Right, and all of that stuff. Shout out to Vin helping Naughty by Nature get their name.
Yeah.
Like they name was out there, nobody had it. He's like come on. I mean, everybody. It's like Michael Bivins and New Edition. Right. Like New Edition's greatest hits, in my opinion. New Edition's greatest hits came when they sounded more like Belle Biv DeVoe as opposed to a bunch of crooners. Right? Like Any Heartbreak sounds like a Belle Biv DeVoe song.
Oh my God.
Right? Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's one of them things. Like the most successful artists out of New Edition are Bobby Brown and Belle Biv DeVoe. You know, no disrespect to Johnny Gill and Ralph Tresvant. Like they are superior talents. Right? But you know, it's like when you I forgot the name of the group. There was a group in the 80s. They kept putting out stuff, and then they left the group and they left a dude named they left two dudes named Foster and McElroy out of the group. They left Foster and McElroy like, what we gonna do?
Right.
So they go out and they produce in Vogue.
Right.
And now you can't even remember the group that they was in, but you know Foster and McElroy for in Vogue.
Right.
So, yeah.
Rocker, you with us?
Yeah, I didn't want to break up the flow.
It's so good. How do you feel? I mean, if you didn't hear, how do you Tretch came out on the Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder podcast about possibly reuniting with Naughty, and he said, "Hell no, there will never be a Naughty by Nature reunion." He said both of them backstabbed him, and Vin Rock responded to him, and he said how him and Tretch had a fight, and during the fight, Tretch pulled a knife on him, and he tried to stab him, and he ended up running to the bathroom.
For the sake of each member involved, I don't need them to reunite, and
Right.
especially if you can't be civil with each other long enough to even talk out the issues. And sometimes, groups outlive their utility.
Right.
Yeah.
Naughty by Nature, they got the most out of their talents in the 90s, and I don't ever need to see Naughty by Nature in concert ever again, because I got so many memories of seeing them rock.
Same.
So many tours.
Right.
And Tretch, he has a acting career that he's very happy with. I think the last that I heard of him acting, he was in it was a stage adaptation of New Jack City.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
And when I see Vinny always seems like he's in good spirits. He's very community oriented. He has he still has strong ties with East Orange neighborhoods. I would rather them just be apart, just lead separate lives, because, once it gets to the point where you're now threatening bodily harm to one of your members,
right,
there's really no coming back from that.
Right.
Yes. My bad. Like Chateau, the homie Chateau said in the comments, Foster and McElroy came from the group Club Nouveau.
Right.
They were the Timex Social Club before, and they changed the name to Club Nouveau later. But that's the group that they came from.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Timex Social Club, aka Club Nouveau.
I didn't know that. I thought they was two separate groups.
But the Timex Social Club was the first incarnation, and then they changed it to Club Nouveau later on.
Club Nouveau, right?
Yeah.
I just remember being in the club in the city, like in the 80s, bro. You could not go to the club Nan night and not hear Club Nouveau.
Right. They had Rumors. They had Lean on Me. I actually have that album, the Club Nouveau album with Lean on Me on it.
They had, did they have Why You Treat Me So Bad?
Yes, they had that too.
Right. Yeah, they had some joints, but they do a thing, and then Foster and McElroy, next thing you know, they producing In Vogue, and you're like, Club Nouveau could have been strong all the way through the 90s.
Yeah.
But you just don't stay together. Look at I don't know what the chemistry was like around KG, but even John A didn't stay together.
They didn't stay together, no.
Right? I mean,
well, I think with Jean A, I think they were like two separate solo artists that came together. and then once they split, they both did their solo thing after that. You know what I'm
And
saying? So
and
I never heard of no bad blood between Johnny and Alice. I don't know.
it's bad blood, bro. It's worse than Naughty by Nature, bro.
Is it really?
The dark skin lady, the way she talk about the light skin lady,
Renee. I think that was Renee.
yeah. The way she talk about the light skin lady, bro.
Oh wow.
You talking about backstabbing?
I
Yeah,
had no idea.
yeah.
I had no idea.
You know, but I mean, it is what it is, man. Like when I hear about groups breaking up because somebody don't like somebody, it's always to me, it always seemed like the featured artist has a problem with like you all on the same footing, and then you become famous, and then now I wrote all the lyrics. KG
Right.
wrote all the music. If you go to court,
Right.
everything that KG did is equal to or greater than you writing words
Right.
on paper for people to say. It's the same thing.
Yep.
You know,
I agree.
I mean, it just show he just disrespectful to or just don't understand how the industry works. And he's been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah. I just hope that they don't go back and forth on different platforms and start it just becomes messy. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a Hall of Fame group, and let's say next year Rock and Hall of Fame comes to them and inducts, nominates them for induction. Like, what then? Like, is all three of them going to show up? Is it just going to be Tretch?
Yeah, they'll show up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I saw with the year that Guns N' Roses went in, Axl Rose wasn't there. They accepted the award for him. He didn't show up.
Yeah.
And they've been and he's had bad blood with Guns N' Roses for years. So he didn't even show up to the induction.
Again, we're not really talking about somebody who is going to help old ladies across the street. Like you talking about an ego-driven lead singer who was talking trash about the group while they was together, basically. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why y'all worried about the guitar player? I'm doing the singing. Bro, your guitar player is a legend. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like your guitar player has guitar solos in certain songs that we consider legendary. Like when you talk about Slash, bro, like what's the song? Is it? I keep wanting to call it Sweet November. It's not Sweet November. It's November something.
I thought Sweet November was their song though. I thought they had a Sweet November song.
I thought the Deal had the Sweet November. I can't remember. I know the Deal.
It might be more than one group that had the same title though.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like so, they've been in the game for over 30 years. At some point, you would think Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is gonna be knocking soon. So, I just hope that November Rain, that was the song from the Guns N' Roses, November Rain.
Yeah. Might be their best song. Possibly their best song. Possibly.
Right.
Who had the song Heart Shaped Box?
That was Nirvana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another great group, bro.
That's a great group. You know what I mean?
Another great group.
But I would like to see Naughty inducted. I feel like they deserve to be there. They gave us classic albums and hit records and great tours. They definitely contributed a lot for Jersey and where they came from and for Flavor Unit, and it's just a shame to see like another group that I grew up on in turmoil. Like I'm like, how many times do I keep going through this?
Naughty by Nature isn't the only rap group that has been estranged from each other. Right. There's another rap group from Los Angeles.
Yep.
Who one of the members has been trying to bring the other two to reconcile with each other, and that's Westside Connection.
Right. Yes.
Like,
I did see that.
Like Cube and Mac 10, they've been on the outs with each other for decades now.
Mm-hmm.
and Mac 10 extended an olive branch to Ice Cube.
Right. Do you think Cube will squash that beef?
He don't need to though.
He don't need
I
to, but I mean, like, it's been so many years since the issue with Mac 10 and Cube's family and what went down with Cube's wife brother. It's been so many years. Like, so I feel like that was like the main point of why they never came out with anything after, was it Terrorist Threats, the second album. So I mean, he's still cool with Dub C. I saw Cube at the Big Three championship game in I think it was, when was that, 2018, 2019, and they had it here at the Barclays Center. And before the championship game, him and Dub C put on a show,
Yeah,
and
I
they were
remember.
to have video footage of that, pictures. He
Right.
ran through his whole discography, and that's the only time I got to see Ice Cube and Dub C. But I would love to see Westside Connection, like
He
all
did
three of them.
something recent, man, like maybe 2 years ago, a Dub C concert and Ice Cube walk out.
Right? Yeah.
I think that was a couple of years ago.
You know what I'm saying? Chateau says Cube not trying to hear nothing. I mean, it's tough because what went down with his wife's brother and Mac 10, there's no coming back from that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta choose. That's family. You gotta choose your family first, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know what, you know what I'm saying. What happens? You know what I'm saying? What happens with Cube and Mac 10, and Mac 10 was also on DJ Vlad saying shit too a couple years ago. So I don't know. I don't know. How do you fix that, if anything? Or maybe you can't fix it.
Yeah, Ice Cube left another legendary group. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Over
Right.
egos. Well, not egos. Some
That was
guys
over
that,
money.
really money.
That was over
yeah,
money though. Yeah.
yeah. But Dre left too.
Dre left and not without getting paid. They still owe him millions at Death Row.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he said all this shit that happened, and the people being at the studio that wasn't supposed to be there, the Pac shooting, he left and he started after that. And now look at him now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Cube thing is different because it was like his wife's brother got a beat down by Mac 10. There's no coming
Right.
back from that. But that's your family. You got to choose over your friend. So
Right.
and the thing is, it was Ice Cube that brought in Mac 10. He introduced him to brought him into the game. You know what I'm saying? So
Mac 10
I
is
don't know.
Ice
I don't
Cube's
know.
greatest. Mac 10 is Ice Cube's greatest protege.
Yeah.
I like Yo-Yo too. I think Yo-Yo is heavily slept on. And shout out to Yo-Yo. She got a new single out. I think it's called Slide. She has a new cooking show that's out on the Aspire Network. She out here doing this though. Like, salute to Yo-Yo.
She definitely got the most juice from the squeeze.
Yeah.
Right. Because she took a song, they sampled a song that was already a cult classic, and put Ice Cube on it.
Right.
And it was a hit. Like for those that remember Earth, Wind and Fire, the song they had, Devotion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Devotion was the bass line to it. Doom, 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 doom. Like the bass line to Devotion is a hit by itself. You ain't got to do nothing but put butter on it. You know what I'm saying? That's a meal. Right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Devotion and its own. When you listen to Philip Bailey singing, his parts of Devotion, you like, oh my, this is. And I think that might have been their first hit.
Right.
Devotion. So
yeah, like I was a huge Yo-Yo fan when she came out. So like she was another great Cube protege. I mean, he had so many, you know what I'm saying? But Mac 10 definitely, I was like his 1995 debut, one of the best albums.
For life.
For life. Chicken Hawk, man, that was my joint. The was it Mozzie Wazzy? That was another banger. Like, yo, yeah, that
Backyard Boogie. Backyard Boogie is my.
Backyard Boogie, yeah, like he had some joints on that first album, and then the West Side Connection album, Bow Down, was a classic, man. You know what I'm
I ain't
saying?
gonna talk about Mac 10 like that, bro. He was
I know
out.
there were New Yorkers and their feelings, but that West Side Connection album is classic. That was a great album.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll just say this about Mac 10. He was alright, bro. Like he MC Ren, right? Like he made good. I think he made good music for sure.
Right.
But I mean,
would he be in your top 10,000 rappers of all time?
I would have to think about that overnight.
10,000? Hey,
Yeah.
You gotta make that. You gotta make that list.
I think he tried to sound too much. Like he sounded a lot like somebody I already knew.
Who's that?
I think he tried to sound like Cube with a different voice. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I like Dub C though.
Right. Dub C slept.
You know what? I think Dub C had an album on Def Jam that, to me, in terms of rapping, was better than any Mac 10 album, probably after the '97 album.
Right.
Okay.
And Dub C, like in terms of having multiple flows and rhyming at different speeds, and he has much more dexterity than Mac 10 does.
Yeah.
So if I'm, as far as like Mac 10, his last dope album to me was when he was on Cash Money, because he had a single that was produced by Dr. Dre called "Hate in Your Eyes."
Yeah.
It was like a 7.5 out of 10.
So it was really good then.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it is definitely a satisfactory purchase. But you know what? You made me think of something, like in terms of like the NWA family. Dre absolutely has the best line of proteges of that tree, bar none, right? We can all agree on that, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Right, no doubt. It might be ever. Maybe possibly ever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe maybe greater than anybody.
Right.
I mean, but we do gotta take some points off for Q introducing, Mr. Short Chop. Remember him from the Die Mega days?
Yes, I remember him.
I mean, there's some.
I do remember him.
I think we have to, confront the fact that there's some rappers that, great rappers that try to introduce to the public that was just so.
Yeah.
Right.
Short Chop was one of them. Quan, from Just a Moment.
Yeah.
He had potential, but that's all it was. Like when I heard Just a Moment, it wasn't like, man, I can't wait for Nas to really executive produce his album.
Right.
Did y'all think that Quan on Just a Moment was really the next to blow from the Nas camp?
He was dope, but I mean, if you really look at Nas's career, the biggest artist to benefit from him was AZ. The minute Life's a Bitch came out, it was AZ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give. I know AZ's from Brooklyn, but there's a Queensbridge sound that I think there's a Queensbridge sound that if you like that gritty street New York talk, like you gotta kind of it kind of like has a life of its own.
Right.
Like the Queensbridge sound, like the Long Island sound, like the smooth out flow. You know what I'm saying? The conversational flow on a beat like from legends like K Solo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People like that But I did want to. But on the topic of proteges that may not have been it, there was a guy named Rampage, the last Boy Scout. I don't know if y'all remember him or not.
Yes, definitely.
Buster Rhymes camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was trying to figure him out. Like there was another guy named Lord Have Mercy, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm still trying to figure him out to this day. Like his voice is dope, but it's like, yo, why you can't make no, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like try, you remember Lord Have Mercy?
Yeah. I remember that the legendary intro from The Coming. He was on that.
Yeah.
That intro alone was legendary.
Right.
And he had the voice, like, but he didn't. I don't know, like, see, I don't know, because like his album never came out; it got shelved. So
I felt like I got a hot take for you. I felt like Charlie Tuna just jacked Lord Have Mercy's whole style.
Really?
I mean, because Charlie Tuna has that deep baritone that Lord Have Mercy had, but Charlie Tuna was a far better rapper than Lord Have Mercy was.
Right.
Especially when you see Jurassic 5 in concert.
Right.
And to me, like I think Lord Have Mercy's his shelf life, it ended around Y2K, because once Busta Rhymes ran out of years, to warn the public about Armageddon and about, there's only 1 year left. That was when Lord Have Mercy's relevance ended.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. And there were others too. Like I think there was a I forget what his name was. I think his name, I don't know if he went by Rock Marciano then. Right.
Yeah, he was Rock Marciano back then.
Yeah. So you got him around, and some others that are around that did okay for themselves. Right. But yeah, man. The Mac 10, bro. I'm like, hey, how many angry rappers do we need, bro? you feel me? Like no disrespect to his talents, but in terms of like for your listening pleasure, like how many angry rappers am I going? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it. And no disrespect to him or where he's from, but when it comes to the dollars that I spend,
right,
like I'm like, nah, man, I can't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
I think he came out at a good time, and Cube really pushed him. They really promoted his albums, and he took off. I just felt like they could have been so much bigger, after the first album, and I think that's probably when the issues started happening. Terrorist Threats was okay, it wasn't as great as the first album, but after that is like, damn, like then they break up. I'm like, man, I don't know. Maybe Cube will be like, more. It's been enough time. Healing heals all wounds. Let's reunite. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll be like, fuck Mac 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I would really hate for something bad to happen to any member of Westside Connection.
Right.
And then, when one of them was on their deathbed, now they're, talking about, man, we should have reunited when we had the chance. We should have let bygones be bygones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when there's a schism, in a group, and the wound is still fresh, it's hard to have that perspective, because you're full of hubris and you don't want to give an inch to the other person.
Right.
But I think Mac 10 extending that olive branch is important because, number one, it makes Mac 10 look like he's the one that is being vulnerable and trying to make peace with Cube. So
Right.
he's kind of winning some public favor, and Cube is looking like the one that's being stubborn and not uh, at least giving Mac 10 an ear.
Right.
So I think from Mac 10's perspective, it kind of applies pressure to Cube
Yeah.
in a way. Like if he could be the bigger man, you could be the bigger man.
Right.
If you're the public though, would you rather see West Side Connection get back together or NWA get back together?
Well, there's no getting back with NWA unless Easy is there. Well, I mean, who do you replace with in Easy's place?
I think the answer is obvious, bro.
I mean, they tried to do that with Snoop Dogg, and I'm like, it's not the same.
Nah, Snoop ain't.
Oh, I know. Are you thinking like have
Mm.
little Easy E in place of Easy
Oh
E?
yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Nah. I
No?
think the obvious answer is Eminem.
No, fuck no.
What?
Yeah, I think the
Yo,
obvious.
No.
Yo,
Hell
that
no.
is not obvious.
Hell no.
I think,
No.
but let me explain why though.
Okay.
Let me explain why, because it's not because you want to recapture the sound of NWA in 1988 or 1989. Like you're not gonna ever recapture that, right? And I think that's what a lot of old school artists. That's the mistake they make. They try to recapture something that's already gone, right? But if you're talking about putting the most talented people
Right.
available in a group and having it produced by Dre, right? And if you can't bring back DJ Yella or another side producer or something like that, then you bring in another secondary producer to help Dre, whoever that person may. Daz Dillinger, like you legit put it back together the way it was put together, but you make music for the next generation. Is what I'm saying.
Isn't there an obvious problem? Eminem is white. He's not a nigga.
Exactly.
I understand that, but listen. But have you ever seen what, like you ever seen where Eminem is from?
Yeah.
Anybody?
I'm from where he's from.
Exactly. Then you feel me? Like it's not like this dude is Richie Rich or somebody. Well, no pun intended, because Richie Rich is a great artist on this one. But it's not like Eminem came from like money and was well to do. Like all the struggles that they talk about is the same stuff Eminem talked about, except from a different place.
Yeah, but I get what you're getting at. Eminem grew up on the east side, like in areas that is very similar, to the way that Cube, Dre, Eazy grew up.
Right.
But if I'm okay, let's say Eminem he agrees to be a part of the revamped NWA.
Right.
Isn't it going to sound a little bit weird for Eminem rapping 1,000,000 words per minute, and you got Cube, rhyming the way that he does, and Dre, having his rhymes ghost written the way that his rhymes are ghost written.
Right.
Like to me, it would be at this stage of Eminem's career, it would seem like you're trying to fit a square peg in a circle.
Agreed.
As far as lyrically.
Agree. I mean, I can understand the argument on both sides, but I see it all the time. Like when you put Nas, AZ, and Cormega on a joint, and then you add Foxy Brown, right? He's like, what is Foxy? Right?
What you mean? She deserved to be there.
And Foxy Brown deserved to be there.
What you talking about? The firm?
No, I'm just talking about. If
you talking about affirmative action?
No. I'm talking about just the group itself, not the stuff that they put out. Right. I'm saying like if they would, if the firm was to come out right now, right, and you have AZ, Cormega, and Nas, and then you bring in Foxy, like what's she gonna do? Sing? She ain't no lyricist like that.
She gotta be there.
She gonna say that. She gonna say the same line every other line.
No, she is not. She's not. Come on, Unc. What you mean?
But you know what though? I mean, judging it. I mean, the last time we heard of Foxy Brown, it was what Affirmative Action 2
Nah, she was on the.
from King's
Remember, she was on the
Disease.
on King's Disease.
Yeah, I mean, her rhymes on Affirmative Action 2.
Mm.
It to me, it sounded like we were all rooting for Foxy Brown to sound good. It wasn't
Right.
like
That's my point.
it wasn't like we were all. It wasn't like we were all listening, thinking, "Oh my God, Foxy Brown has never sounded this good before." Like she's recapturing what made her the great that she is.
You mean on the King Disease album?
Yeah.
I mean, she been. Mm.
I mean, she sounded like she was just getting her footing lyrically.
Yeah, she's a mother now. She has a daughter. She's been away. Remember, she have like she was deaf in one ear or whatever. You know, she was dealing with court cases. Like she been away for a minute. But I will always welcome to hear new Foxy Brown music.
I ain't welcoming shit.
Are you kidding me? Compared to give me a new Foxy Brown album right now. I'll take Foxy over any of these chicks right now.
I will take Eve over her right now. I'll take Eve over her right now, 10 days a week, bro. Right
Eve
now.
was dope too. She great also. But I haven't heard
that same stuff that you mentioned. Eve was going through the same stuff. She said it on the Joe and Jada show. Like going through all this stuff, but she was like, "Don't get it twisted, though." Like if Jada co-signed it, Jada was like, "Yeah, nah, y'all better not get it twisted." Eve is a bona fide special.
See the thing about adding Eminem now in this era, it would be like young black teenagers having that name, and none of them niggas was black. They got a pass in the 90s with that name because of Chuck D giving them that name.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying, bro. Right? But if you're talking about talent for talent, like the most talented person out of that entire Dre tree by far is Eminem. And you could say 50 Cent, you could say Ice Cube, you could say Snoop, you could say Corrupt, you could say, hey man, like no disrespect to that conversation, but Kendrick Lamar better not even say Eminem name. Like he is not.
Are you serious right now?
Bro,
what?
Kendrick Lamar is 1/20th the rapper Eminem is.
Wow.
Eminem is so much better than Kendrick Lamar. Like I'm embarrassed saying their names in the same.
I love Eminem, but he has not been the same since the Eminem show. He clearly has fell off and came back again. You know what I'm saying? Like
I mean, let's look at GNX. Like I remember when it came out, I wasn't a big fan of the singing on that record. Luther, no. LA Dodgers, no. I mean, to me, Kendrick Lamar, when he tries to sing, he's not good enough to do that. Like Nelly can pull that off, Ja Rule can pull that off. It astounded me, like to me, it baffled me the way that people sweated that Luther song.
It was trash.
I disagree.
And I think GNX, I mean, he rapped on maybe a quarter of that album.
That whole album is a bop. It was like LA. I guess you have to be like from the West Coast to really appreciate it. I liked it because I saw what he was doing. But like all of those songs, like the Dodger Blue joint, like they played that when the Dodgers won last year.
Hey, when I was in LA, I remember, hearing it on radio stations every hour on the hour.
Right.
They love them some Kendrick, but in terms of being of talent for talent, like what does Kendrick do that Eminem can't do?
I feel like they're on the same tier. I feel like Kendrick is just as good as Eminem. I do. And Kendrick not once has Kendrick given us a fucking Encore album. Encore was one of his worst albums. I love M. M is in my top 5 all time, but he is not the he has not been the same since the Eminem show.
Oh my god!
Like he is like the hip hop Jason Voorhees. He died and he's come back to life again.
Bro, I ain't never heard so. The Knicks won the championship. Now New York
since the Eminem show, he is giving us either it was good or was mid or was trash. He is not giving us a classic album since Eminem show. That was 20 years ago.
Wait. You said you praised the Death of Slim Shady album because it was a return.
I praised it because it sounded like his old self, but it wasn't a classic album. But he sounded like his old self because I don't know what he was doing between Kamikaze and Revival and Music to Be Murdered By. He sounded like a trap rapper. That's not Eminem. And maybe he was bored, but those albums were garbage. I didn't like none of those. I couldn't even finish Kamikaze when it came out. Like I remember hearing like 2 songs and turning it off. I'm like, I can't listen to this shit, right? But if you look at since the Eminem show, Encore was the album after. Encore for me was not. I know people that love it. I do not like Encore. I liked about maybe 8 songs on there, and I'm being generous. It wasn't a great album. And
hey, who's the greatest rapper ever out of New York?
Oh God, we did this last week.
I'm just saying, who's the greatest rapper ever out of New York?
The greatest rapper for me out of New York is Nas. He's the greatest rapper.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say Eminem in his prime will destroy any rapper from New York at any time.
No, yes. That is not true.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I saw it on Renegade.
You saw him destroy. You saw him destroy Jay. You saw him take over that song, but he didn't. He's not going to destroy Nas. I do feel like there's other MCs from here that he's not going to destroy. You know, like rest in peace to Sean Price. If Sean Price was alive, you're not going to destroy Sean Price. You're not going to destroy Method Man.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? You have Ghostface Killer. There's many other MCs from New York that it would be a battle with Eminem, right? When you look at, I do love Relapse. I think Relapse was his comeback album, and Recovery, and people shit on Recovery. That was like his most personal album because of Proof dying, right? But then when you look at after that, you be going into like the mid shit with Marshall Mathers LP2. That was not a good sequel. Very mid shit on there, and I have that album, right? You have what's the shit? All that other shit he was doing after Marshall Mathers LP2. He has not been the same since Eminem show. That was his last classic, right? But I liked Death of Slim Shady because the way that he sounded like vintage M, and maybe it was all a ploy. Maybe he said, okay, I'm gonna do these shitty albums or whatever and throw people off, and then I'm gonna come back to my old self on my last album or whatever. So I like it because it was some good songs on there, and he was back to his old self. This is the Eminem I missed on Death of Slim Shady. I missed this Eminem. You know what I'm saying? But he has not been the same since Eminem show.
I think Mr. Morales and the Big Steppers, to me, I think that's Kendrick Lamar's
encore. You think that's his encore album?
I mean, it's an album that I don't really feel. You know, so maybe that's like his encore to me.
Wow.
I mean, because Encore was supposed to be a double album,
right?
But then once it got leaked, Eminem had to record more songs, and he had to, he had to put the remaining songs that got leaked, on the cutting room floor.
And he said remember he said he had issues with the label because there's a version of Encore that he wanted to release, and there was issues with the label. So that the version we got wasn't his version.
Yeah.
So that explains why we got shit like Ass Like That and Yellow Brick Road and all that garbage. I'm like, what is this, Em? You sound like you on drugs.
Kendrick Lamar is not. I'm giving y'all grace saying Kendrick Lamar is a top 200 rapper. I'm just saying,
if to use Freeze's point, okay, let's say if Dr. Dre is thinking about reuniting NWA, and Dre has a legendary farm system of great artists he could turn to, Eminem, Kendrick, 50 even. If you think if Dre, if it comes down to Kendrick or Eminem, that Dr. Dre is going to call M and be like, hey, you want to live out your dream and be a member of the NWA? All right, put on, put on your Raiders gear, put on
Right.
some loats, and we're going to get to work. You think Eminem is going to get that
Well,
call?
I'm not picking Nala. I'm picking Little Easy, the offspring of Easy E.
Nah, we don't need no
in that
more.
group.
NWA don't need no more whack rappers, bro.
What you mean?
They're easy.
That's the offspring. That's Easy E's offspring. He deserves to be in that group.
Nah, nobody. Nah, Snoop deserved to be in that group. He
You're
owned
crazy.
Death Row.
I ain't putting Snoop in that group. He got too
Snoop
much going
owned
on.
Death Row, bro. Who
He
deserved
got
to
too
be
much. He got too much going on right now with Daz. Him and Daz beefing.
But have you heard Snoop rhyme lately? Like Snoop has been mailing it in for years.
Yeah.
Right. They had a single come out last year that I liked. I can't remember the name of it. But him and Dre had a song came out, and I hit up Triborough as soon as I heard it.
That album was trash.
That album was trash. Right.
That album was garbage.
Yo, if a fully produced Dr. Dre album could not bring back Snoop to the heights he hasn't seen since No Limit Top Dog, then there is no hope for Snoop.
Hey, there's hope. You call up Hit Boy. He did wonders for Nas. Call up Hit Boy. You know what I'm saying? Game did a whole project with Hit Boy.
Oh,
what
about Game being in NWA?
No, he had an NWA chain when he first came out, but he don't. Fuck no. Just because that was like his favorite group or whatever, he could be on the album, but in the group, I'm getting Little Easy, the offspring of Easy E.
Bro, he can't rap.
What you mean he can't rap? I've heard him rap.
Didn't the Game say that he's the best rapper from Compton?
He did say that.
I believe him.
He also said that he was better than Kendrick, which is not.
I believe that too.
No, he's not better than Kendrick. No, let's stop that.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I think Kendrick Lamar is like those cars, Caprice Classics. You know the Caprice Classic? Remember that, the cars?
Yeah.
People used to throw rims on them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, why would you buy a Caprice Classic and put $60,000 in it to make it look new when I could just go buy Escalade? I'm talking about at the time it was out.
But the car culture is a thing out there. But they have the lowriders, the car shows in California. They do customize, cars out there.
They do that everywhere, bro. They do it in Detroit. My cousin Travis had just came from one.
Yeah,
he had I think he had a Suburban in one.
Right.
Matter of fact, he got a Roadmaster. If y'all remember what a Roadmaster is, but he had a black on black Roadmaster with 20s on it. Right. But my thing is though, is I guess my grand overarching point was not just Eminem and NWA, but for like Naughty by Nature, for stuff like that, bro. So I think we should just let it, you know what I'm saying? Let it live like how we remember it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to put NWA together. You don't have to put West Side Connection back together. Right. You don't have to put Naughty by Nature back together. You don't have to, bro.
But like Navaka has said, like I said earlier, like suppose God forbid one of the members from Naughty dies tomorrow. Then what are we gonna be saying? Like, damn, they could have reunited before his death?
Nah, it's not like they have been put out 10 straight albums, bro. They ain't been putting out nothing. Somebody died and they don't put out nothing. It's the same thing. They dead, right? The group is dead right now.
It's just bad. It's just for them to be going at it on platforms now. I'm like, come on, Naughty, y'all are not from this era.
But they're not going at it on platforms, bro.
They are when Tretch is saying one thing and then Vinny hears what he had to say, and then he's going on social media and saying, "Oh well, me and Tretch had a fight, and then he pulled a knife on me."
It's the same thing David Ruffin used to say about the Temptations in the '80s, bro.
Yeah, but we didn't have
that dude Ali ain't me. Like it was
Yeah, but
like, dog, we
the
know he.
Temptations ain't have social media back then though.
I understand. I understand.
You know what I'm saying? Like you see what's going. You see what happening with Pete and CL going on these different platforms and talking shit about Pete. Pete ain't never did that. No shit like that.
But best believe if social media was around during the 70s and 80s, David Ruffin would have been airing out the Temptations.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
Probably.
Like nobody's business.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's the whole point that I'm getting at. When you talk about the star of the group, man, when you talk about these lead singers and all that, bro, why you think Jerobi and Fife felt a certain way about Q-Tip, bro?
Right.
Like, the lead singer, the stars of these groups, bro. Somebody even said that about RZA. Like somebody said they had beef with RZA doing whatever.
Yeah. The Wu members, there's different Wu members that have beef with RZA at one point or another.
Yeah. He can't produce everybody album, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
you got at one point I think you got mentioned him in his book that you guy was mad because he felt like his album could have been a classic and he blamed the RZA for that because it was like by the time it was you guys' turn to come out, they giving him crap. RZA giving all the key to Ray and Ghost and Method Man. You giving crap to you guys' first album.
If Wu-Tang was a batting lineup, you guy would be the number 9 hitter.
Right, he'd be last. I also think he was the MVP of Wu-Tang Forever that nobody talks about.
You're bullshit, right?
He had some of the best verses on Wu-Tang Forever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I did a whole video for that. I'm like, nobody gives you God his props. Y'all give all the other members, Master Killer even. What about you God?
They better than you God, bro.
That's debatable. I think everybody have their favorite in the clan, but
I mean,
you got bars. He gets no respect.
I mean, yeah, you got to refresh my memory. Like, on what verse is on Wu-Tang?
Okay, like on what Black Shampoo, he had his own song. He's the only one from the clan with their own song on Wu-Tang Forever.
Actually, he's not because Inspector Deck has the city.
Oh, that's right. But Black Shampoo, and when I tell Wu heads this, they get mad. They're like, yo, that song was whack. I'm like, bro,
Black Shampoo is whack.
The way that it started off with him getting his hair washed by his shorty, and then it goes into like the flutes and that was fire, man. I love that song.
Yo, this might be the greatest take I've heard. Exceeding even Uncle Freezy. I've never heard anybody say, "Yo, bro, you God had the greatest."
He had some of the best verses on that album. You know what I'm saying? I'm
gonna say Method Man's verse on the projects is better than any verse you got kicked on Wu-Tang Forever.
Wow. The disrespectful you God, it has to stop, man. That's just crazy.
And there's no real disrespect, bro, because there was really no respect. Like there was when you
hear the song, right? The song for It's Yours. Y'all didn't like his verse on It's Yours?
I'm not.
It was tolerable. It's kind of like when you go to a kid's birthday party. I mean, you go because you're invited. You don't want to be rude, but you're just waiting for the time to pass where you can go.
You don't go to Chuck E. Cheese for the food, bro. You don't go to Chuck E. Cheese for the food. Somebody invited. I'm with Rocco on that.
What do you go? What do you go to Chuck E. Cheese for? The ambiance?
No, to give your gift or whatever, and to tolerate it till, like Rocco said, till you find an emergency. Like
when you hear joints off with the Wu-Tang Forever, like Severe Punishment. Yeah, I thought he had a great verse on that song. On Bells of War. On Hell's Windstaff, Deadly Melody, like you God really came through. Remember, because I believe he was locked up when Into the Wu-Tang came out. He was still locked up. That's why he wasn't on a lot of those songs on the first album.
I think RZA is a better rapper than you God, bro.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, again, that's debatable because everybody has their favorite in the clan. You know what I'm saying? I've heard people say they didn't like RZA. They thought
So
RZA was whack.
I think the critique around RZA could be sometimes he can trip over his words sometimes, like on Triumph, but like the way he'll pronounce certain words,
Yeah.
like it can kind of sound, it can kind of sound weird to the ears.
He was wearing those damn fangs. That's why he sound like Dracula.
Yeah.
You know? You sound like Count Dracula in a lot of those songs.
No, he sound like Count Chocula, bro. That's what he sound like.
Right.
He sound like Count Chocula.
You know what I'm saying?
Or some people would say he stole Keith Murray style. Like,
no, he did not.
He was trying to be cannabis.
He don't sound nothing like Keith Murray.
No, not sound like. I'm talking about rap. Like when you take these multi-syllabic words and try to fit them into a space that is like for a singular or, you know what I'm saying, multi-layered word, and it just sound. It
like
just
the mythological, comical.
Yeah,
like astrological.
Like you said like 7 multi-syllabic words that fit into like a 4-word space. Like, I remember Kool Keith from Ultramagnetic MCs when he was was he Dr. something?
Right.
Where he was like
I know you're talking about
Dr. something, but he was like he's the interplanetary gynecology something.
Yeah.
And you the
octogologist or some shit like that?
Yeah, some
gynecologist, some shit like that.
You like and at the time it was dope because nobody else was doing, because it was like an energetic gimmick. It was kind of like and when I say this, everybody, like, please take this as text only and in context. But Kool Keith was like the first MF Doom, and I know if you don't listen to Ultramagnetic MCs, you might not be able to draw the correlation, right?
Right.
But in Ultra Mag, that's kind of what he was. He was like the MF Doom of that era. And I'm not saying MF Doom bit. That's not what I'm saying, because he took a style and he perfected it. Right? Like he legit took a style and absolutely like supreme in that style, whether it's an original style or not. If it's a copied style, he perfected it. If it's an original style, he deserved all the credit in the world for perfecting it. Right. But you got though, bro. Like we gonna talk 20 minutes about you got, bro.
I ain't talking. I just mentioned that to me he had some dope verses on Wu-Tang Forever that nobody talking about.
But you know why we don't talk about him though?
Why?
I think he's living somewhere in New Mexico.
Why? Because I don't know.
Because you got is pulling up the rear behind Method Man, behind Ghostface, behind Ray, on deck, on great verses on Wu-Tang Forever. He's pulling up the rear. RZA included.
But that could be by design, because remember, like, there was a point when RZA was like, and I heard Inspector Deck say this, when they were doing Triumph, like, Deck was the only, everybody else was asleep. Deck was the only one that was up, and he saw RZA make that beat, and that's why he went first, because he was the only one that was up. You know what I'm saying? So they could be doing that by, well, whoever is up or whoever is around RZA at the time, they get in first dibs on the track, and maybe You God came in last, and that's how the lineup was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when they tell stories, I'd be fascinated with the stories. I'd be glad that
Yeah.
But Inspector Deck verse, bro.
I ain't saying this verse on Triumph. I mean, I think to me he had some of the best verses on the Wu-Tang Forever. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, talking about Inspector Deck, right?
I'm talking about You God.
Oh man,
I'm talking about You God. Deck is great. We know Deck is great. I'm talking about You God not getting the respect he deserves from the claim.
I think I heard somebody in the conversation said in a 9-person lineup he bat 9th, and I think
that was me.
Yes, he's batting 9th. Yes, I agree.
I agree.
I mean, Master Killer could bat last too.
I don't know about that, bro.
Why not? Why you can't bat last?
Because You God is there.
They can interchange.
No,
The
they
Yankees do it all the
cannot,
time.
bro.
They don't keep the same lineup for the whole year.
No, they cannot, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Sure they can.
No, they cannot,
You
bro.
guys could go first. Why he got to be last?
Because if you have Cappuccino, Master Killer, and you got, bro, you already know you're gonna get that order gonna be Capadonna, Master Killer, you got, bro.
I'm pretty sure, and I can't. It's not coming to me right now. I'm pretty sure there's some songs where you got started first.
Maybe he was awake.
But also with Master Killer, you already know what you get at the Master Killer. You're going to get some very cerebral,
right,
very esoteric, lyrical philosophy that's going to sound very deep, even though you don't know what the hell it means, but you know it sounds dope.
Right.
Whereas with you got like because you guys sound like that angry short man.
That's why I like it. He didn't let the stardom get to him. He was still the way he is.
To me, when he was shitting on Killer Army, for their album coming out before his, to me, I really do not like this word, so I'm gonna make up another word. To me, that was just misplaced anger.
Right.
Because, dude, your beef is not with Killer Army. What your real beef is with the way people perceive your talent against the entire clan. And in a batting lineup, okay, if you got had it his way, he would be batting, lead off. Right. So let's say you did have his album produced by RZA first. How's that going to fly with Wu-Tang fans?
They'd still be working that target, bro. Exactly. Think about this. If they bring out You God before Method Man, right? You remember all the hype behind Method Man. He got a joint, METHOD man, and then you got everybody wanting Method Man because to his credit, Method Man has the same thing that Busta Rhymes has, and like the Treacherous MC, they all have the same thing that Tupac has. They have it,
right?
And just because others have talent, don't mean they have it,
right?
Like it's like when you compare Ready for the World and the Jackson 5. Like Ready for the World is a great band, right? They're great, but Melvin Riley doesn't have it, and Michael Jackson had it in spades. Right. Like legit, the whole setup is the same. You got dudes, man, they from and I'm not saying, one area from because I think both groups is from the Midwest. I'm not saying one thing over none of that stuff because Ready for the World was a great group and Melvin Riley had a solo album that's fire, right? My thing is, though, just because you have talent don't mean you have it, right? I mean, it's like Jorge Posada and Derek Jeter, right? Jorge Posada was very productive and he won championships with the Yankees, but Derek Jeter has it, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you got and you don't have it, and no disrespect to my favorite Wu-Tang rapper, Inspector Deck, he doesn't have it, right? Ghost and Ray have it, and Meth has it, right? Nobody else has. ODB might be lyrically not the best rapper in the world, but ODB had it. You guys don't have it, bro.
Let me tell you, I'm on Reddit right now, and there are Wu fans saying that You God is underrated because he lives in the shadow of his more successful clanmates. And this one person said, go back and listen to his verses on Forever. He's great on every track except his solo track, Black Shampoo. Also, like I said, like the Wu fans don't care for that song. And another person said he has 6 features that he killed, right? He was great on Sheshe Lagos from the Supreme Clientele album. He was good on the Cypress Soul song Killer Hill Niggas from that was on Temples of Boom. Mystery of Chess Boxing. And what was the other one? They had Knuckleheads from Cuban Link and Heaters on Wu-Tang Forever. Those are like considered his best features in the whole clan.
He's all right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So there's people that feel like he's underrated too.
I think underrated has become an all-inclusive term for any person who is under the radar,
Right.
but not because of their talent, but because people want that person that is perceived as underrated to receive more attention and publicity. And to me, I think you God is he will forever be a malcontent.
Somebody said,
If even when you read his memoir, when he speaks about RZA, he gives these backhanded compliments, and he seems very ungrateful for the opportunity that RZA
Right.
gave him.
I agree with that. I agree. Because he sounded like that on DJ Vlad also. I'm like, why? Like they all, I mean, at one point or another, they all had issues with RZA, but they gotta understand RZA was a one-man band and did everything on his own and took them out of the projects and into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So they owe everything to RZA.
Yeah, I was gonna say RZA don't owe them nothing.
Right.
RZA don't. It don't even matter. It Ghost, Ray, Meth, like RZA don't owe them anything, bro. Without RZA, do you even hear these guys, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
It's true.
RZA's grand idea. Because remember, like when Wu-Tang Clan formed, people wasn't having like six rappers, bro. You have like 4 rappers, and the other guys got to go form their own group.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
nobody was having 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys in a group. You don't have room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But the size of Wu-Tang Clan, that was the equivalent of a orchestra.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, in hip hop terms.
Right.
You know, because when you have that many people in the group, normally the first thing that is going to arise is problems around money, problems around creative control, problems around certain members feeling like their input is not being included.
Right. And then you got inner circles and outer circles. Like you got the inner circle of Jizza, ODB, and RZA, right? Because of family connections. And then you got talent like Meth, right? And you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So if you got, bro, you got to remember, like, bro, legit, when these things started using jail, bro, and they held your spot, they could have moved on without you, bro. They could have grabbed it. They could have went outside and whistled and find 10 other angry young black men with street cred that been to jail, that swear that through their belief system that they know more than everybody else. I can go to New York and spit in the air and hit 100 dudes that been to jail, that has, you know what I'm saying, have knowledge of self, feel like they slick with the words. I could throw a rock in New York and hit 1,000 dudes, right? They with that same archetype. And if you think about the duplicity, your whole style is like the combination of other dudes in the group. They could have moved on without you.
Right.
Like sometimes, and on top of that, the one member that wasn't on until the 36 Chambers that was in the group, he got more love in the streets than you guys did, which was Capadonna.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because Capadonna was a great freestyler and he was a great showman, when the Pillage came out, people, I believe it went gold in what 6 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, that is also what is grating you guys' nerves to this day. Like the fact that you God
They,
did not get the kind of reception that Capadonna got. To me, I think what you God has to understand is that everybody in the group has a role to play. Not everybody is going to be
right.
batting between 1 and 4. You know,
Nah.
Right.
like Method Man was the leadoff, and
Yeah.
Raekwon, they were like the cleanup. They were the batters that got the sacrifice fly, or got the
Right.
home run to drive in the runs.
Right.
And he was, the person that if he got on base, great. If he got hit by a pitch and he got on base, that's great. But we're not looking to you to keep the offense going.
Right.
Like he like a utility player.
Right.
Because
They,
Ghost and Ray was great, bro.
yeah. They also said on Reddit his some of his best features was on It's Yours, Deadly Melody, what was the other one? Heaters and Winter. Remember he was on Winter Wars also with Capo.
And if you look at Is Yours, the way that the video was shot,
Mm-hmm.
I think if I remember correctly, was you guys video? Was you guys verse in that video because they spliced it with older guys?
That's right. Yeah, it was like a double single.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they were like on tour. I think they were like in Hawaii or something, and then like it went to like the Ray and Ghost part in Older Gods. You know what I mean?
Just save it, man, because Ghost, yeah, and full disclosure, everybody, even though I love Wu-Tang Clan, there are certain guys in Wu-Tang I just like. I'm not really partial to,
Right.
and there's some Wu-Tang favorites. Like I'm not. I don't really feel like Ghostface Killer. I think he alright.
Oh, man.
Right.
What?
Right. Now,
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite in the clan?
man, come on, man, that's easy.
Is Ray?
Nah, it's Rebel INS.
Oh, okay. That okay.
It's the Rebel INS, bro.
Right.
Yo, the Rebel INS to me is like Jadakiss. Like you don't know his greatness until like you just see the total project and you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
The point guard don't have to shoot. The point guard can distribute and get everybody involved.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
like his verse on Triumph speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It speaks for itself. Like I don't know many verses that take that approach and hit like that.
Right.
Like that Cannabis wishes he could. Keith Murray wishes he could do a verse like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where you use multisyllabic words and stay on time with the beat. It's a classic. They're not just the greatest opening verse ever, but it's just a time. Yo, Inspector Deck's verse on Triumph is to me a top 100 rap verse of all time. Period.
Please don't tell me what to do. What makes you
All right, but before we get out of here, I feel like we gotta at least talk about this just a little bit. The Tupac murder case has started. You know, Keefe D is on trial for Tupac's murder. It's 30 years this year. They're doing jury selection. That continues tomorrow. I saw Money B. Money B was on a platform today saying that Tupac's real killer is already dead. You have Suge Knight coming out to TMZ saying that it wasn't Keefe D, it's many other people. What do we think about this? Do we feel like Keefe D is going to take the rap for Pac's killing, or is he innocent?
What does he gain by? Like, does he gain anything?
He gained his
by
freedom.
fessing up?
He gained his freedom.
No, I'm talking about confessing to pot murder.
Well, I feel like because everybody else is dead that's involved in this case, we assume. I feel like he's gonna go down and take the rap for the murder.
The case has started with jury selection,
Yeah,
and from what I gather, the both the prosecution and the defense, they're looking at the proffer agreement that Keefe D signed in 2008 or 2009,
right.
and uh, because he put out some book, I think it's called Murder Rap, and he's bragging about his role in the murder. And then once he ran his mouth too much and he got entangled back in the penal system, now the defense are trying to say, well, the book was fabricated. He was just exaggerating to sell a book. So now the defense are trying to take the approach that it was somebody else that wrote the book. It was somebody else that goes wrote the book, which I'm sure somebody did. But
Right.
it just seems like grasping at straws. Like, like for years you were bragging about your role in the murders, and now that you're going on trial, now you want to come across as this Forrest Gump type figure that
Right.
just bumped bumped into a Cadillac,
Right.
got inside, had no idea where you were going, and you were horrified at what happened. Like nobody is to me, it seems like he may not be convicted of the serious charges. He'll probably, I think he'll probably, walk, maybe do some probation. If he does get time, I don't think it'll be that, that long after the trial, because like the the triggerman, from many accounts has already, died.
Right.
So
Yeah.
now are you trying to prove that he orchestrated the murder? And this trial is gonna be like the X-Files,
Yeah.
because if there's so many people that are alleged to testify. Some of them we've even talked about tonight,
Right.
and I this is going to be a complete circus, and I don't think any justice will be served. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people will make great content out of it. When I say great, I'm being facetious. They'll make great content out of it. I'm sure all of the usual content creators and hip hop bloggers, they're going to eat off of this, something lovely. But I don't think anything substantial will come of it.
Orlando Anderson been dead since 1998. He got fatally killed in a gang related shootout. So he's not alive. But do you think this is where somebody that was presumably trying to get social media clout, the clout backfired on him finally? Because we've
That's
heard
exactly
him on
what happened.
yeah, I've seen him on different platforms talk about, well, he gave the gun to his nephew Orlando Anderson, and he saw Orlando shoot Pac, and Pac was dancing around in his seat, and he said a lot of different things, and I'm like, I feel like if it's not true, then you was basically out for getting attention and clout, and now the clout came back to bite you in the ass, and you might spend the rest of your life in prison for that.
Yeah, sound just like Jaguar Wright to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the proffer agreement, from what I understand, whatever's in that proffer agreement, if he said anything that contradicted what he said and signed, then all bets are off because
Right.
now they're going to charge him, for the crimes that he was protected from. So to me, this is a very good example of of seeking to have a viral moment, for years around, around the book in this case, and you became infamous. Like I think
Right.
he wanted to be famous, but he wanted to be infamous because there's nothing that I don't even know what he like. I don't even know what he did. Like before you even knew of him, did you know what he did?
He supposedly he was like in a part of a gang.
And
And
last time I checked, you don't go to school to be in the gang. Like
and
you don't
he
like
was
no one
like
is.
he had a friendship with Suge Knight, and then supposedly like the friendship went sour.
And Suge already said he's not testifying.
Right. But what does he know? Because if you come out to TMZ and say, "Oh, it wasn't Keith," there's many more people involved. What do you know? Why? I get the whole no snitching thing, but this was one of your artists. Do you not care about this man's life and getting justice for what happened?
But I don't understand Suge's thinking because if you're saying that Keith he wasn't involved, then how would you know if he was involved
Exactly.
at all? So
Exactly.
that means that you have knowledge
Yeah.
of what happened.
And
So
and it. Mm, now go ahead.
yeah, so to me, I think Suge wants to have it both ways. Like he wants to honor the street code, but he also wants to make it clear that his friend that he grew up with in Compton wasn't involved. But to me, um, you know, Suge is already in prison,
Right.
and there's nothing that Suge can say that I believe will shave off enough years that would even make it attractive for him to
But
even.
he's doing 28 years. But the thing is the fact that no, like he's not talking. Is he not talking because the people that are involved are still alive and out there? Because if they all gone, if they all dead, then why not tell? Why not say who did it? If some of those people are still out there alive and breathing, is that the reason why you ain't talking?
I remember in an interview he gave a couple weeks after Tupac died that he doesn't get paid to solve crimes.
He has
And
a point. He has a point too.
yeah, I mean, to me, I didn't expect Suge, to
At the same in your head,
cooperate at all.
you have to have money.
Yeah,
I don't.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I don't think it's any. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. And am I a conspiracy theorist? Yes.
Uh,
Right. I don't think it was any of them. I think they are living up. I think this whole thing is like the 1800s when gangsters used to get killed and everybody said they did it to get clout.
uh,
Or like how like a terrorist act happened somewhere and
right.
like 10 different groups claim they did it
Mhm.
to get clout. That's what I think is happening, bro. I think the hip hop police thing is real.
Yeah.
Right.
They said the LAPD is not cooperating with the case.
Of course, bro. Because even because for one, they revamped themselves because of how bad they had looked
Right.
for 30 years, right?
Right.
And so why go back to that when that's the thing that you work so hard to get away from? Like they had the worst image of any police. They police departments was worse than New York. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in terms of the conspiracy theorist thing though,
Mm.
yeah, I do believe it's a thing out there where I ain't even gonna say hip hop police. I'll just say forces.
Right.
There are forces out there where if you get strong enough to control the media, like if you could give a great speech or if you can move people with something, I think there's a force out there that's coming for you.
Is is it possible that Keefe D is in the same situation with Diddy, where people would say, well, Diddy was just a pawn in the bigger picture of the freak offs and all that. There was like other like bigger people, bigger fish to get, and
Yeah,
Diddy a pawn. Is Keefe D like a pawn in this?
I think he made himself a pawn. So
Right.
yes, yes, to answer your question, but not because he's natural enough to be one. It's because he threw himself into it like a fool.
Right. I hope they get the justice. I feel like both Pac and Biggie's cases need to be solved. It's 30 years now for Pac, and next year's gonna be 30 years for Big. And we just want to see some justice for both of these legends. They're already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Their families and friends deserve closure. And if it's Keefe D, if he has knowledge, if he was a part of it in any shape or form, send his ass to jail with
Right.
no parole.
Right. Agreed. Agreed.
I'm interested in seeing if there would be a case going forward around Biggie's murder.
Right. I feel like maybe both cases are connected.
I think if you're Dr. Martin Luther King, if you Malcolm X, if you're Robert Kennedy, if you're John Kennedy, if you're Fred Hampton, if you're Charlie Kirk, if you can move people, if you can move people, bro,
Yeah.
I think it's somebody out there. I think Prodigy said it best.
Yeah.
Like he did some work with Alchemist, and he was doing an interview with somebody. And he was like, "Yeah, man, they out there, bro." I and I don't sound. I want to sound like the sky is falling,
Right.
right? But I am a conspiracy theorist. I do believe dinosaurs never existed, right? Right? I do believe aliens are here walking amongst us, bro.
Yeah.
And I do believe like there are forces out there that are bigger than any of us. That if they say somebody getting too powerful, we need to shut them up. That person gets shut up.
Yeah.
Especially Tupac. If y'all remember, for those that remember Tupac, Tupac was his most dangerous, not on his albums, but when he was doing interviews, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like when Tupac did interviews, bro, that's when he was his most dangerous.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because Tupac on his albums was like, I clown around, want to hang around with the underground, something. He did that and some other stuff, right?
Right.
But if you remember the interview he did with the lady from BET,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
To me, in 90, to me, if had he, well, first of all, there's so many variables on him. Like had he not went to Vegas and that incident never occurred, there's so many variables that would have still needed to be explained. For number one, at that time, he made so many enemies in hip hop that if he didn't get killed in Vegas in September, I believe he would have gotten killed sooner or later.
In Atlanta the next year, probably, or because if y'all remember the time Tupac shot those two police officers, yeah, like the dude. I'm not saying he had it coming, but there was some.
It's almost like he was. It was like he was tempting fate too many times. It's like when you have a family member that's very worrisome, and every time you hear about him, you fear the worst. You fear he's either in the hospital, he's in jail, or he's somewhere in the streets doing something really stupid. And every time you hear about them, you fear the worst.
Right.
And once you see them you are relieved for the moment. That's what it was like
Yeah,
hearing
I agree.
hearing about something happening to Tupac, while he was alive.
Facts.
Right. Like the thing with him and Nas,
Yeah,
you in New York and you gonna meet up with Nas at night, bro?
right.
Do you know what he do? I don't
Yeah,
think people understand how dangerous Queensbridge is, bro.
right.
Like I don't think listen, man, I love New York, right?
Right.
And I know a lot of people from New York, and my name slightly to the smallest degree ring a bell in New York. Like people know Uncle Freezy in New York a little bit, right?
Right.
Probably more so than you got, and I know you got jealous, right? But I don't mess around with New Yorkers, bro.
Right.
Like I ain't trying to try. Hey, try. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, like New York is a dangerous man. Man, New York is a dangerous place, bro.
If you, but yeah, but I've heard the outlaw members say that Nas was scared to meet up with him. That came out of their mouth. Napoleon and Edie on them. You know what I'm saying?
To me, I don't think Nas was scared. I think Nas might have been weary
Right.
Yeah.
because at that time, Death Row was very fearsome. They had a reputation that preceded them, and I think Nas was just trying to be cautious because if worst come to worst, Nas, I'm sure he had his cavalry,
Right.
and you're not going to go anywhere. Like you're not going to go to New York City without having some backup. But I
Right.
think when you go to somebody else's turf and you confront them and you're very belligerent, especially over something that that could have been settled away from the entourages. It's like a Molotov cocktail.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Bro, yeah, man. Listen, and listen, I am if listen, I'm against the tough guy theory, right?
Right.
Like personally, my personal belief is regardless how tough you think you are, there's a bunch of people out there tougher than you.
Right.
That's my belief, right? That's my belief. That's why I don't talk trash about nobody town or none of that or where they from, because regardless how tough you are, there's always somebody bigger and badder out there than you,
Right.
right? My thing with Tupac though, right? And God rest his dead. I hope his spirit is resting in a great place, right? Tupac don't give me the vibes that he will throw those hands with somebody, bro.
Really?
No,
So you didn't see the videotape of him busting Orlando Anderson's ass before he got shot?
bro. Did they? You
I
talking
mean
about
that was Orlando Anderson versus multiple people getting.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was
ambushed.
clearly in the front kicking him.
But he was being ambushed.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he got jumped, bro.
Right.
Yeah, like he don't give me that. And the reason why I say that is because I spent uh, probably too many years in the correction system. Like I would I used to be a detention officer a long time ago for a long time, and you can see in people's face who is about it and who not.
Right.
And Tupac never gave me that vibe, bro. Like Tupac never gave me that vibe that he was that. Now, is there something wrong with that? No, ain't nothing wrong with that for being yourself.
Right.
But even Michael John White said when he saw Tupac, he thought Tupac was feminine.
Oh wow.
Michael John White said that on DJ Vlad. He was like, "Yo, I saw Pac. I thought he looked." I was like, and I wasn't taking it that far, but I was looking at it like he don't look like a gangster to me. Like I know what a gangster look like. Gangsters,
Right.
they faces dented in,
Right.
they knuckles is swollen, they look like they done been through something because they done been through something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so no disrespect to Pac, right? But just somebody telling me that Nas was scared of Pac, man, come on, bro. What are we doing? Really?
There's different stories. I heard a Jungle came in Nas and Jungle had his gun on him, ready to shoot him.
So, at Nas?
You mean Tupac?
So, yeah, that's what I thought.
You hear different things over the years, and you're like, what to believe?
Now, I do believe that I do believe that Jungle would have risked it all for Nas.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Because that's family, that's blood, and especially when Nas did not appear to be the aggressor, and he just trying to have a good time. I mean, all of that rah ruckus that Death Row brought to me. I think something bad would have happened if no one intervened, because it's always the people that's on the periphery. Because if you look at that video that Tupac did, he did an interview at the 1996 MTV Video Music Awards. He was surrounded by like 100 looking goons.
Yeah.
And those goons, they're looking to win points to curry favor with Tupac and Suge.
And the streets.
Exactly. So to me, I think Suge and Tupac had enough understanding of the danger, that they posed, but they could not control all of those guys that was backing them.
Right.
And if something bad would have happened, it would have been on Suge and Tupac's heads.
Right. Right. But I'm saying the same thing about these kids, these cats in New York, bro. New York got gangsters too, bro.
Right.
Like, nothing against the West Coast, dude. Because listen, like I just said, man, listen, it's hard times everywhere. You got thugs everywhere. But I just don't, in my heart, I can't believe Tupac Shakur came to New York and chumped off famous rappers in New York. I just can't believe that can happen, and those rappers can live with that if it happened. I believe if Pac extorted a dude or played a dude, that rapper, they would have been destroyed forever once the story got out.
And the very person the very people that is responsible for the Quad studio shooting, they were New York gangsters. So he's very familiar, with New York street toughs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will be watching this trial. I think it's gonna be like the biggest trial since OJ. I will be watching it. I want to see what happens. I want to see what unfolds. There's rumors that Diddy might be a part of this case. I don't know how true that is. We've heard Keefe D mention his name in the past, and I just want to see justice served for Pac's murder. It's long overdue. We're celebrating All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli albums this year. It's 30 years for both, as well as his murder, and it's somebody got to go to jail for this. That's just how I feel. If it ain't Keefe D, you got Puffy. Somebody they got to take the fall.
Might be the government, bro. The government got to go to jail for it.
Yeah, them too. LAPD, all that.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And so I will definitely be checking out this case. I don't want to talk about this weekly. That's why I just mentioned it tonight, because I don't want to be like, there's too many people that's talking about this and they're gonna make their content off of it. But I'm not doing that. I just want to get your thoughts about what you think is gonna happen, and that's basically about it. Shout out to Ray Sean.
Real quick, a couple weeks ago when 38 Special, made that diss song to Fat Joe
Right.
and Jada Kiss, and I asked you, did you think it was going to turn into upstate New York versus New York City?
Uh huh.
And I think you said no.
Right.
And and since then, it seems like the noise around 38 Special and uh, Kiss has kind of simmered down.
Yeah.
And to me, I wish that you know certain people in hip hop would study the past, study
Yeah.
how battles that were supposed to be in jest, they balloon into something that's far more hostile and dangerous,
Facts.
and uh, and and sometimes like healthy competition is great, but
Yeah.
once it starts turning into hoods versus hoods, blocks versus blocks, then it's something entirely different. And
Facts.
people got to be, they got to have enough foresight to get ahead of it.
Yeah. I agree. And that's why I was like, no, nobody's paying attention to that 38 special disc, man. It's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? We lost two legends 30 years ago because of beef and people in their feelings and misunderstandings. So we don't need that ever again in any genre. You know what I'm saying? And so I will be checking out the trial. I want to see what's gonna happen, and I hope justice is served. Rest in peace to Tupac. He's a legend, and he will be missed. And this is the end of the show. Thank you, Uncle Freezy, for always coming through. And Rocker, let the people know where they can find you and what y'all got coming up.
But you can find me at RAKABASH on IG, and right now, continuously, trying to find interesting people, to bring on the show as
Oh
guests,
yeah,
and broaden uh, our knowledge base
yeah,
on things not just in music, but it could be in anything that's part of our society, part of our community. It could be around healthcare. It could be around um, business. It could be around education. So that's what inspires me right now. So thank you to everybody that tuned in.
oh
I
yeah.
appreciate everybody that watches, and salute to Uncle Freezy, and always salute to you, Triborough, for always
Yeah.
for always uh, being dedicated to bringing this show uh, to broadcast every week. So peace, y'all.
Yeah,
Appreciate it,
man.
man.
I think y'all can find me at Echo and Essence. You can find me on Lawrence Tears. Um, Most importantly, the Dead Ain't Rap podcast. If you're not cool at work, it's your fault because you're not watching the Dead Ain't Rap podcast. Right. Just wanted to throw this out here too for Triborough. Triborough, I think you wrong for not giving respect to rappers outside of Brooklyn, New York.
What are you talking about?
Like the Lost Boys.
Oh my God!
Shout out to the
I've never
Lost
said nothing bad
Boys.
about them.
A shout out to LL Cool J and all the artists that never get props from Triborough, but they
Wow,
not from Brooklyn.
that is not true.
And
That is
shout out
not
to the
true.
chat also.
The my first 1K vid was about Bone Thugs and Harmony, Art of War, and that's a Midwest group. That's the first 1K I ever gotten on my channel.
I don't. And Busy Bone said he's still looking for you, bro.
I would love to have Busy Bone on here. Come on now. You know what I'm saying?
Busy Bone, if you watch it, bro, you need to be on the Dead Ain't Rap podcast.
Yes, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that came through. We almost had 500 subs. let's get there. We on the road to 1,000, and this is always fun, man. I love it. Shout out to everybody who came through. Ray Lansky, Big Sean, Power. All y'all subscribe if y'all ain't subscribed yet. And we can see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Forget it, George. If you want to
Yeah,
ask
man.